Chapter 5:16. That was what Old Man Pai thought. He could not help but admire the two experts from the Zhang family. They could make anything. However, there was a prerequisite, and that was the Zhang family needed that kind of thing. For example, the lightning rod. He had never seen the Zhang family use it before. However, when the thunderstorm came and they had to go up the mountain, the lightning rod appeared. Then came the cement. Who would have thought of making something like that? However, in order to build more lighthouses, the Zhang family created the cement. Then, it was used to burn the cement and make gas masks. In the end, the gas masks could not protect the eyes. Then, the thing called glass came out. It was not much different from glass, but it was said to be very cheap. After the glass came out, mirrors were also made. It seemed that all these things were only brought out when they were about to be used. Usually, as long as it was not used, there was no news at all. What kind of situation was this? Old Man Pai believed that if the two experts from the Zhang family were willing, they could make something better. Unfortunately, they were only willing to do it when they were forced to a certain extent. Old Man Chang had the same idea. The two experts from the Zhang family seemed to always be able to come up with a good idea, but why did they not think about it normally? Why? If Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan heard this, they would definitely complain. It was not that they did not want to, but some things needed to be done slowly. How could they have it just because they wanted to? Moreover, the two of them were too busy. Children of their age were running around outside all day. Only the Zhang family and Wang family knew how many things they had to take care of. How could they have so much energy to spend on other things? They were not robots. The two of them were responsible for everything in the Zhang family and the Wang family. Even if there was a swindler, Zhang Xiaobao would have to deal with him. They had to train the army, learn knowledge, and consider every aspect of Lu Zhou. In addition to these, the two of them still had to take care of the other transactions. This was because the two of them were used to being busy in the past. If it were a normal person, they would be exhausted to death. Fortunately, the two of them had always grasped the time to rest very well. They would never lack rest because of too many things. The two of them didn't want to die from exhaustion so early. It wasn't worth it. Old Man Pai and Old Man Chong would never have thought of these things. Now, Old Man Chong wrote down the recent events in detail so that Old Master could decide whether to follow this method or not. He even did not let go of the special delivery room. As he wrote down Old Man Chong, he said, "I also admire them, especially that delivery room. There were so many women who were about to give birth, but none of them had any problems. Would you dare to imagine it if it was a normal time? It's normal for 2 or 3 out of 10 people to die, but the Zhang family can guarantee that nothing will happen to them. As for the women who were in confinement, usually 4 or 5 of them would be left with the root cause of the illness. But look at their place, it was well arranged. When the time came for the women who were in confinement, nothing happened to them. The most unexpected thing was that some of them didn't have breast milk. I don't know how the doctors they sent did it, but they just rubbed it and made it out. Don't you think it's strange? It's strange. That's why I followed them here. If I had known, I would have come earlier. Maybe I could have known more details. I found that the experts in their family thought a lot about the lives of the people. As long as the people's lives were not good, for example, many people couldn't find a job, they would immediately arrange a job for them. This is what I agree with the most. If all the officials could have such a person in their family, then good days would come for the common people of our dynasty. It's a pity that he just stays in the Zhang clan and doesn't go anywhere else. If they were brought to your Majesty's side, they would be able to talk to your Majesty more often and come up with more good ideas. Then our great Tang would have no need to worry about prosperity." After hearing Old Man Chang's words, Old Man Pai sighed again. He didn't expect the two experts in the Zhang family to come out by themselves. He just hoped that Zhang Zhong could become a higher official as soon as possible, especially in the imperial court. As long as that was the case, the two experts in the Zhang family would do more things. After all, they were in different positions. When Old Man Chong heard Old Man Pai's words, he suddenly smiled and said, "I have an idea that might work. Since the people in the Zhang family are willing to help the people, Then we can use the people to force them to come out. For example, we can catch some people and tell them that if the two of them don't come out, we'll kill the people. Of course, we can't do this directly. We can arrange for some people in the Zhang family who don't know to do it. When the time comes, I don't believe that they won't come out. What do you think? What will they choose? I don't think so. They will kill the two of us first. Do you think the two experts in the Zhang family can't see it? If they don't come out, will the people you sent kill them or not? If they kill the people, they can only wait for revenge. If they don't kill them, they will be more certain of something. What worried me the most wasn't this matter. Even if he guessed, he might not be able to guess the two of us. I always felt that those two people were very good at calculating and could calculate everything. As long as we were calculated, we wouldn't be able to live a good life. If the people were fine, they would take revenge. If the people were really injured, I think the people of our two families would be killed by the experts of the Zhang family. If you don't believe me, you can try it yourself. Let's make a deal first. When the people in the Zhang family ask me about this, I will tell them everything. I won't help you hide it. Otherwise, my family will be finished. When Old Man Pai heard Old Man Chang's words, he knew that it was a bad idea. If this kind of thing was really done, once people found out, his side would be finished. Even Old Man Chang's master, Zhang Jiuling, and the others would not be able to live a good life. Were the two experts in the Zhang family so easy to provoke? They clearly knew that the two of them loved the people, but they still wanted to use the people. The result would not be good. If the two of them were forced to leave Tang, it would not be enough even if they died 1,000 times. At this time, Old Man Chong did not say anything. Just now, he was going to let Old Man Pai do this, but he was not going to do it. Seeing that Old Man Pai said that he would tell the Zhang family, what else could he do? How could the Zhang family not ask Old Man Pai at that time? Since he could not do it, then he continued to write. As he wrote, he stopped and said, "Do you think that the doctor that came with the Zhang family this time is a little different from the previous ones? In the past, when the doctors encountered some problems, they would find a way to treat it. For example, when there was a big wound on the body, they would usually apply medicine to it. But the doctors who came with us were different. They discovered that those who had large wounds actually used needles to stitch them up. That was fine. After all, the stitches they made were pretty good. What I didn't understand was that there was a person who had an accident on the inside of his stomach. They actually cut open his stomach and tidied up the insides. In the end, they sewed it up again. That person is still alive now. Is he the reincarnation of Hua Tuo? How is that possible? How did they know the situation in the stomach? Do you know? I just don't understand. If it were me, if I cut open a person's stomach, I would not know what was inside at all. But they knew. Old Man Chong was very curious about this surgery. He did not object to others cutting open a person's stomach, but he felt that it was a little unbelievable. In the past, he had only heard that the powerful Hua Tuo could cut open a person's stomach, and then sew it back up again after the treatment. Those things that were done here were all the same, especially when it came to giving birth. In the beginning, Old Man Chong did not know what those doctors were doing with all kinds of special tools. Later, when he saw a person with an injury in her stomach being cut open for treatment, he finally understood. Those female doctors who stayed in the delivery room were only prepared to use knives to give birth to the child that could not be born. It was too scary. No wonder they were not afraid of dystocia. At that time, they said that there was no need to worry about dystocia. They would definitely give birth to the child. It turned out that they were using such methods. Old Man Chong only knew that others could perform surgery, but Old Man Pai knew more things. He had discovered that when Zhang Zhong was an official in Huayuan County, there were often ghosts there. The people who had just died were buried, but immediately found that they were gone. After a few days they came back, but there were many more wounds on their bodies. Those wounds were obviously sewn up. Some of the internal organs were also missing. Some people said that the evil spirits took the people away, ate the insides, and sewed them back together. Old Man Pai really did not understand what was going on at that time. Anyway, he did not believe in ghosts. until he saw that the doctors brought by Zhang Zhong could so skillfully cut and sew up the wounds of others. He understood. So that was what happened. He did not expose this matter, and he did not blame the Zhang family for doing this. After all, people were dead. Even if they went to the underworld, it had nothing to do with this world. Since the dead could help the living do something useful, then even if he died one day, he was willing to let others cut his body. As long as more people could be saved, he would be satisfied. Thinking of this, Old Man Pai said to Old Man Chong, "In fact, it's very simple. Their knife skills were practiced from the dead. You know the dead, right? They dug up the people who had just died and cut them bit by bit with a knife until they were familiar with the cut and knew what the place should look like. Then they could do it. As for the bones, they would deliberately break them and touch them with their hands. After touching them, they would cut open the skin and flesh to see if it felt the same as when they touched it. Didn't you notice that they were very familiar with the way they dealt with the broken bones in the first place? These are all experiences gained from the dead. I think the reason why they were brought here is that the Zhang family was afraid that they would spread the news. If that happened, the Zhang family would be finished. When more people could accept it, Zhang Zhong would not be afraid. Now do you understand? I've already thought about it. If I die one day, I'll tell them to send this body of mine to that medical school and let those doctors use my body to practice their skills. If I can save one more person because of my body, I'll be able to rest in peace in the afterlife." Old Man Pai was very serious when he said this. It did not seem like he was joking at all. Old Man Chong stopped writing and looked at Old Man Pai without blinking. After a while he nodded seriously and said, Good ability. No wonder they can save so many people. Turns out that they trained from the bodies of the dead. Good, I have also decided that when the day comes that I can't live anymore, I will also give my body to them. I believe that even my parents won't blame me when they know how many people my body can save. Then don't tell anyone about this, especially your family's master, Zhang Jiuling. Who knows what others will think. What I am thinking now is how to help them steal more people's bodies. The more bodies there are, the better their practice will be. Let's not talk about anything else. You saw the action of cutting people's stomachs that day, right? What did the people around say? We should help them more. Since Hua Tuo can cut people, why can't the doctors here? Old Man Pai actually wanted to drag Old Man Chong in with him. Don't worry about anything else. Just do what you're supposed to do. When you cut, pay attention to your limits. Yes, that's what he said. Turns out that they were asking for stability at that time. Yes, you have to practice more. Only by practicing more can you keep up with the stability. Yes, you have to practice more. Only by practicing more can you keep up with the stability. I think that this matter should be taught to Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. The two of them are already stable at such a young age. If they are older, they will not be comparable to ordinary people. Old Man Chong recalled what he heard and saw that day. Suddenly, he thought of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He wanted them to learn medicine as well. Old Man Pai smiled mysteriously and said, How do you know that they won't? If they don't want to be good people, then they want to be good doctors. Zhang Xiaobao's ambition is not small. Maybe they are practicing with dead people now. Oh, that's right. They have learned a lot and they are very good at it. I don't know how they learned it. If it were an ordinary child, they would not know anything at this age. They would only listen to what others say. These two are definitely not like that. A lot of things are done by the two of them. Old Man Chong was very happy to hear Old Man Pai's words. In his heart, he had already treated Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan as his own grandson and granddaughter. The more powerful they were, the happier he was. If anyone wanted to hurt them, he would fight to the death. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not know that what they were doing had been guessed by others. They were still busy with the amusement park. As for the matter of the swindlers, it was still early. No matter what, they had to wait until the other side took away the first fish eggs and seeds. Especially Zhang Xiaobao. He didn't believe that those people were just trying to cheat a little bit of money. Wang Wan took the time to ask Zhang Xiaobao, Xiaobao, I suddenly thought of something. Those people are using Qinzhou's identification, and they need our Chamber of Commerce to vouch for them. If we really vouch for them when something happens, will we go to Qinzhou? Qinzhou? What's the point of going there? They won't admit to it. If I'm not wrong, even if we send people there to ask, they will only admit to it verbally. But when something really happens, they will deny it. If you don't believe me, you can get a seal from Qinzhou and compare it with a seal from Qinzhou. This is definitely something that the Ning clan did on purpose. How could they not think of a way out? If they want to cheat a little bit of money before leaving, then they won't have any chance. If they leave for a little bit of money, then they can spread the news that they cheated our family. Zhang Xiaobao was in this line of work, including his analysis of human nature. He could see that the other side was doing this on purpose. If they were cheated and really went to look for them, then it would be even more embarrassing. How could it involve such matters? What should we do? What if they run away this time? Do we need to send people to keep an eye on them? Wang Wan suddenly thought of the consequences of this matter, so she asked Zhang Xiaobao. After asking, she realized that she shouldn't have asked. Since Zhang Xiaobao said it, how could he not be prepared? Sure enough, Zhang Xiaobao smiled and said, I already arranged people to keep an eye on them. But if they run away now, I won't let people catch them immediately. Instead, I will let people follow them and see where they go. At the same time, we don't need to stop here. The fish eggs are actually very good. They can be made into high-priced caviar. It's a pity that they used their clever minds on other things and didn't use them here at all. Otherwise, why would they hate us? Isn't it just because they are jealous of our things? So that's how it is. Then, should we raise a lot of fish in the future? When Wang Wan heard that the fish could be made into caviar, she had a plan in her heart. This thing was really good, and if there was a little promotion, more people would be willing to come and eat it. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head and said, Not in the future, but now. Didn't they say that they were buying fish eggs? That didn't say when the fish had to be collected. When the time came for the fish to lay eggs, the eggs would be moved away and incubated elsewhere. When the fish hatched, there would be more fish. As for the money that the people take out, we can give it to them secretly. That is, let the people help us raise the fish. In this way, we don't have to worry about other things. When they see that they didn't cheat too much money the first time, they must wait for the second time. Many swindlers are like this, so swindlers with such ideas will eventually be caught. Ordinary people don't know how to make a choice, so they will lose some money. If swindlers don't know how to make a choice, what they lose is not as simple as money. They will lose their freedom. Let's delay them for a few days. Don't worry. Oh, it turns out that it's not easy to be a good swindler. It seems that I can't do it. Like you said, when I do something, I want to do it as perfectly as possible. I can't cheat people as long as I'm not good enough. When Wang Wan said this, it was unknown whether she was praising or belittling people. Zhang Xiaobao said with a smile, Only those who pursue perfection are suitable to be swindlers. Sometimes, being able to retreat at the critical moment is also a kind of perfection. A real fool rushing forward is a pity. Well, let's not talk about swindlers. We'll do as you said. Let's see what they can do when the time comes. This trick is too bad. Even I can see it at a glance. I don't know what they are thinking. Do they really think that the Zhang family is so easy to bully? Come, let's pursue perfection here and build the outermost amusement park. Wang Wan stopped talking about the swindling and put her mind on the construction of the amusement park. Zhang Xiaobao also began to get busy. They were all busy with their own things. Those people from the Yellow River Shipping Company finally couldn't bear it anymore. They came here to make a fortune, not to stay idle. The people here didn't care about their things at all. They now understood that the plan was a lie. Although it was written well, in fact, it was useless at all. Instead, it made them lose a lot of money this time. More than a dozen owners gathered together this time. A few days ago, they separated and wanted to look for good business, especially to sell the things on the ship this time. As a result, they went to some places and met merchants from various places. When they talked about the things on the ship, the merchants looked at them as if they were not ordinary people. This was a big blow to them. They never thought that this would happen. Now they knew that there was no shortage of fur here, and there was no need for those leftovers. Even if they gave the things on the ship to others for free, they would not want them. Moreover, they also knew that the goods on Lu Zhou's ship could not be bought with money like before. They had to join the Chamber of Commerce here. If they wanted to join the Chamber of Commerce, they first had to take out some money, and the amount was not small. They had tried to find the local people, wanting to buy something from them. In the end, the people were on guard against them as if they were guarding against thieves, which made them feel very defeated. Chapter 5:17. The sky is too far away, the sky is blue. The water is soft and the wind is warm, the white sail is splattered with blood, the sharks are annihilated. Qinzhou Bay, the tide is slow, the wooden horse turns on its own. Where is the sun? Sand piled up amusement park. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's children's amusement park was completed. There were not many things inside, only a merry-go-round, a slide, a maze, an ocean ball, a dollhouse and a mirror. No matter where the children came from, as long as they were under the age of 10, everything was free. They could even bring an adult with them for free. The snacks and meals were also cheap. They even arranged for a doctor to be present so that all the children who came could have their pulse checked for free. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan treated this amusement park as a benefit. Even though they both knew that it was the easiest to earn money from children, they really disdained to do it at a place where they could have fun. A child's laughter was priceless. They could not let some children lose the opportunity to play just because their family did not have money. This kind of thinking was not considered noble to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. They just wanted to have peace of mind. The location was chosen to be next to the pier because they could play with sand here. Children were all willing to play with sand, regardless of whether they were a boy or a girl. The amusement park had a special place to wash clothes and a small bed for children to sleep on. When they got dirty, they could take a bath and sleep. When they woke up, their clothes would be dry. According to Zhang Xiaobao's words, don't suppress or erase a child's creativity just because they will dirty their clothes. The reason why children liked to play with mud was because it was easy to mold. Every child had their own dream, and they needed to use mud to find a way to realize their dream. Many adults had already forgotten about their childhood. They only hoped that their children would be obedient, well-behaved, sensible, good in their studies, or be able to help with the chores. In the eyes of many adults, a child sitting steadily on a stool was better than a child playing with mud in the yard. Zhang Xiaobao could not accept the middle-aged man's actions. Wasn't it easy to let the child study well? As long as the difficulty of the game gradually increased during the process of playing, one would not be able to continue playing without knowledge. Children would naturally learn for the sake of playing, not for the sake of learning and learning. Could it be that His Excellency was not playing? It was just that the things to play with were different, and the tools to play house had been upgraded. When the adults were happy that they could buy some meat dumplings with the money they earned today, it was no different from when the children were playing house to make dumplings. The yearning was the same, even more so than the adults. Thus, Zhang Xiaobao, who had never received a formal education, proposed a new teaching theory. That was, in the areas controlled by his Chamber of Commerce, there would be a 15-year compulsory education, starting from the age of 1 and preparing to start after 10 years. The current amusement park was an experiment to see what the children liked so that it could be adjusted in the future. Jump down, it'll be cool if you jump down. Look at the little girl in the pond over there. She's already jumped down. Beside a 1-meter deep swimming pool, Wang Wan encouraged a 3-to-1, 4-meter tall boy to jump into the water. The little boy seemed to be very afraid of water, but he still wanted to play in the pool like other people. He stood on the shore and hesitated, looking at the water and the children playing in the pool. His breathing became more and more rapid, but he still did not dare to jump. There were more than a dozen pools built here, each with a different depth. The height of the children needed to be checked first, which was the height from their feet to their chins. Then they were arranged to play in the pool. This height was just enough for people to swim or even step on the water. As long as they felt that it was impossible, They could stand straight and not be drowned. There were also 2 adults who specialized in first aid. When they saw that the children did not show their heads, they would jump in to help. They were afraid that the children would be anxious and forget to stand straight. With so much preparation, there were still children who were afraid. Wang Wan did not know whether they had been drowned before or were naturally afraid of water, but she knew that once they overcame the fear at this time, they would not be afraid of water in the future. Zhang Xiaobao could not stand watching from the side. He walked behind the boy and directly kicked him into the water. "Why don't you dare to jump into the water beside the pool? It's not like it's a 10-meter-high platform. Once you learn to swim, as long as you don't encounter any special situation in the future, you can swim up by yourself after falling into the water. Can you wait for others to save you? Don't you know that saving people can also lead to death?" After muttering to himself, Zhang Xiaobao sat back down. The boy was scared out of his wits. He struggled a few times in the water and choked on his saliva. Finally, he stood up straight and coughed twice. He looked around and was sure that nothing was wrong. This time he was relieved. He walked back and forth in the water, his 2 arms paddling vigorously. After a few strokes, he floated up and continued to drink water. He was no longer afraid. "How can you do that? His parents must be unwilling." Wang Wan saw Zhang Xiaobao's expression as if he had done a meritorious deed and did not know whether to laugh or cry. "His parents should thank me. I let his children know that since they yearn for it and want to face it, it's better to take the initiative than to be passive. Look at how happy those children are. I haven't been there since I was young. It's too expensive and I can't bear to spend that money. Now that this welfare is out, should we build some exercises in the community? Let's build them in Luzhou." Zhang Xiaobao looked at those children enviously. It was a beautiful memory to be able to play in the amusement park when he was young. Build exercises. What exercises? Do you think the people stay at home all day without work? Are you going to delay the matter of the Yellow River Shipping Company? They've already gone to your father. When Wang Wan saw the child's father stand up and sit back down, she knew what was going on. His son was kicked, and the parents wanted to ask about it, but they found that they could not afford to offend him. Moreover, his son was fine and had forgiven Xiao Bao. When she heard Xiao Bao mention the community, she directly rejected it. Zhang Xiaobao suddenly understood and said, "The Yellow River Shipping Company. Yes, and them. I don't know if I should admire their courage or say that they can't see the situation clearly. They want to use the first scraps of those ships to exchange for the local specialties here, and they want to exchange for another ship. Are the first scraps of those dozens of ships worth a ship when they collect them? Especially that guy surnamed Sunday. While he admitted that we are strong here, he also said how much he spent to collect the first scraps in the capital. At the same time, he also asked how much the local specialties are worth here. After calculating it, in the end we made a profit and they lost money. At that time I felt that he was not here to talk about business, nor was he here to compromise. He was afraid that we would lose something funny in our lives, so he came here to do a stand-up comedy. I don't understand. What is he thinking? Why can't the owner of a shipping company talk properly? Is he bullying my father because he doesn't know how to do business?" This was the second time Zhang Xiaobao mentioned this matter. When Wang Wan heard it, she still covered her mouth and laughed. She knew that Zhang Xiaobao still had something to say. That was, "What does the price of the goods have to do with me? If you spend 10 million yuan on goods, do you think I have to sell Luzhou to you?" When she thought of this, Wang Wan knew that those people were deliberately crying poor to make themselves look more pitiful. It was impossible that they did not know the ability of the Zhang family in business. It was really difficult for them to say such words. Unfortunately, they were not ordinary people and they were not cute children. In the end, they were deceived. "Xiao Bao, so you're saying that they should continue to do field trips at their own expense?" There are 12 people, and they have been in the mountains for 6 days. I don't think they will be able to come out for at least a month. Each person spends 10 strings of coins a day. Just for food, shelter, protection and sightseeing, it will cost them 20 strings of coins. That's 7,200 strings of coins in a month. Aren't you afraid that they will turn against you? Why would they turn against you? They are willing to do it. Didn't we agree that there will be a chance to exchange a ship's worth of local specialties for a ship's worth of fur? Let them go and take a look at the local specialties. Don't wait for the opportunity to come and they won't miss it. After looking at the mountains, there are still the sea. They are all good things. If they can bring back a ship's worth of goods, they will be able to earn all the money. Zhang Xiaobao said with a thoughtful look on his face. Wang Wan sighed. Sigh. They might have done too much business with others and learned too much. They just had to play tricks with your father. Now, they have the opportunity, and whether they can exchange for the local specialties are two different things. What's more, the local specialties might not be those tributes. Do you really want to go against the Yellow River Shipping Company? What do you mean I want to go against the Yellow River Shipping Company? You should ask them if they still dare to play tricks with my father. Do they want to go against the Zhang family? Strength determines everything. If we want to destroy the Yellow River Shipping Company, we will destroy them. I will wait for them to come to their senses and talk things over with my father. My father is a rank 4 official. It's good enough that he can meet them, but they don't know how to cherish the opportunity. This was what Zhang Xiaobao was most dissatisfied with. His father is a provincial governor. How high is his position? How much face did he give to you businessmen to meet him? He even accompanied you for a meal, but you don't want to tell the truth. Do you think you are Shen Wansan? Even if you are Shen Wansan, you are still so stupid. You don't know how to give the biggest benefits to the powerful people. You can't be rich enough to go against the country. If you have money, you must take it out. You must also use the name of the person in power. Even if others know what is going on, you must still put yourself in the right position. If I don't teach you a lesson, who should I teach a lesson? What if they think it through and talk to your father? Will you just give them the local specialties? Wang Wan asked again. Yes, I have killed almost all the sharks. You don't know, but the shark meat jerky is very delicious. As for the fins, they are not delicious, so I won't give them. Do they have sharks in the Yellow River? Are they local specialties? Also, the shark bones are not bad. If they are willing, I will give them some. If there are too many, I will keep them as snacks. Zhang Xiaobao will not sell things like shell fragrance and hawksbill turtle to other businessmen. Wang Wan was relieved. That's right. Shark meat is really good. The shark fins are not delicious, so I won't give them. Chapter 518. What Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan liked to see the most was their family living together in harmony, the people around them being able to live a stable life, and the smiling faces of their children. It could be said to be great or selfish, but the two of them were already tired of taking the initiative to attack others, so they had been patiently doing what they wanted to do. When merchants came from outside, they first had to consider their attitude. If they came with a friendly attitude, the two of them would treat them the same. If they came with the intention of suppressing the Zhang family in the Chamber of Commerce, the two of them would deal with them according to the degree. The attitude of the people of the Yellow River Shipping Company had been fluctuating between cooperation and non-cooperation, so Zhang Xiaobao made a move. The main reason was that those owners had a bad attitude towards Zhang Zhong. It wasn't that merchants couldn't do anything to officials, but it was a matter of mentality. If it were two people, it wouldn't be a big deal for a merchant to meet some officials of a certain rank, but the status of the officials here was much higher than that of the merchants. Those owners spoke to Zhang Zhong in such a way. It could only mean that they didn't respect Zhang Zhong's position in their hearts. Perhaps this matter would cause a lot of losses to the people of the Yellow River Shipping Company, but to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, it was just a small episode. It wasn't as big of an impact as a 2-year-old child struggling in the water. Xiaobao, look, that child is really fun. He seems to want to swim, but unfortunately, the water is too shallow. After Wang Wan finished talking about the shark, she pointed at the child in the shallowest pool and said excitedly to Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao turned his head to look and also laughed. That pool was unusually shallow. Even if the child sat in it, he wouldn't drown. Only 2 of the more than 10 pools were like this, so he was afraid that the child wouldn't be able to stand steadily and sit down. The child seemed a little unwilling to stay in such water. His little hands and feet moved vigorously, and his body really floated up a little. After swimming for a while, he felt that it was not satisfying to be able to touch the bottom of the pool all the time. He stood up and staggered in the water. He actually climbed to the top of the pool and opened his arms. His legs moved quickly, and with a splash, he jumped into the pool that was slightly deeper than the original one. This time it was deep enough, and the child's chin just happened to be up to the child's chin. This scared the child playing inside. When he saw a child younger than him coming over, he thought that it would be dangerous and wanted to come over to save him. However, the child raised his head and started to swim by himself while giggling. Not only were the children who wanted to save them dumbfounded, but Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were also stunned. What a genius! He can actually smile and swim at the same time. Could it be that he also trained like you? Wang Wan was relieved. She signaled to the rescue personnel on the shore to just watch from nearby. There was no need to go and pull the child out. Zhang Xiaobao also felt that it was very strange. How did the child float? Obviously, his 4 limbs were not moving. When he was lying there and smiling, it was impossible for his breathing to be so coordinated. It was just not heavy. After thinking for a while, he said, "It seems that we should come up with more sports in the future, such as football, basketball, and so on. There are also track and field events. Yes, the polo here is also good. Then I will personally train this child. When he grows up, he will win a gold medal and a championship. It's okay to do some sports, but there must be a standardized school. However, it must not be the kind where the rich can enter, and the poor lose the opportunity. Also, there must not be any corrupt officials." Wang Wan thought that Zhang Xiaobao wanted to use those sports to make money. She was worried that with the large amount of money generated, some people would lose themselves, so she reminded him. Zhang Xiaobao knew that this matter was indeed profitable. However, he not only planned to make money, but also to increase some entertainment activities in the lives of the gradually prosperous people. "Don't worry, we can take things slowly. The people here are not like when we were in the past. Sometimes they might not cheat even if you ask them to. When we are about to leave Luzhou, we will start with Luzhou and the capital. As for the other places, as long as our Chamber of Commerce has not penetrated into them, we will leave them alone first." Since Zhang Xiaobao mentioned this matter, he had to come up with a general framework first. Wang Wan nodded. Then she shook her head and said, "I don't think it will work. If the few places you mentioned are successful and really make money, how can Chuzhou City and Hunan not follow suit? Then, won't we lose an opportunity to join them?" "You're right. Others will learn. Even if they can't come up with such a good system, they will follow suit. After all, this matter can make money. Let them follow suit. When the time comes, we can cooperate with them and compete with each other in several areas, just like the competition between various craftsmen." When Zhang Xiaobao heard Wang Wan's words, he knew that he could not control everything. The people here were not stupid. Not only were they not stupid, but they were also very smart. Perhaps they were a little less knowledgeable, but as long as he and Wang Wan came up with something, others would immediately copy it. There was no way to guard against it, unless he wanted to tamper with the things he was doing and deliberately harm others. Then, it would become a purely commercial calculation. Zhang Xiaobao didn't want to commercialize everything. "It's still early to talk about this. Xiaobao, are there pirated copies of our bags? Do we need to do something?" When Wang Wan talked about the imitation, she thought of the situation of the furniture and bags. These 2 things had just been released for a short time, but in the end, there were people who copied them. The marks deliberately left behind at the beginning could come in handy at this time. The problem of imitation could not be solved by any legal means. Not to mention that the law was not so perfect, especially in the business aspect. Even if it was perfect, so what? Those that should be counterfeited would still be counterfeited, and it would be impossible to catch them. Zhang Xiaobao also knew that the counterfeiting started in Beijing. After all, those leather bags and furniture were sent to Beijing to be sold first. These were just delivered not long ago. It must be those who couldn't buy them and wanted to buy them at a high price. As a result, the counterfeiting market was formed. Didn't they already issue a certificate? According to the information we received, the people over there did not issue a certificate. When the time comes, the people who bought them will think of a way to do it themselves. Let them make it first. Stop the first generation and start to change the design. Start the second generation. This time, directly start the production in Beijing, which is the workshop in Sanshui County. Make more. The first generation is just to see the reaction of the market. Seems that it is good. Then let's stockpile the second generation and release it at the same time. It is convenient to have carrier pigeons. Now I want to know how many pigeons Zhang Jiuling has in Beijing. Did he send a few batches of pigeons over there? Zhang Xiaobao pondered. There were not many counterfeiters over there. If the marks were exposed now, others would follow suit. He would wait until there were more people. This kind of thing was decided in one sentence. Zhang Xiaobao pulled Wang Wan and walked to other places. The two of us also play. I didn't play when I was young. Make up for it, make up for it. The two of them walked towards the merry-go-round. On the way, they encountered a mirror. There were many children in front of the mirror doing all kinds of things. Even the adults were curiously watching. They had never seen this kind of thing before. There are kaleidoscopes in front. It is more interesting over there. Wang Wan saw that there were not many mirrors and there were many people, so she reminded them. When the two of them were making the mirrors, they thought of making one mirror of the same size. Now they found that it was not enough. When the children played here, they would stand in front for a long time. The children at the back had to wait. Wang Wan reminded others and said, "Let's go back and make 2 more sets. It is easy to get into fights if you always wait." That's true. Fortunately, there are no children fighting now. They all know that this place was made by my father. They are very obedient. The weather is too hot. Let's have a small competition. Children of the same age compete. The first few can eat ice cream for free, and the last few can eat shaved ice. It is a consolation prize. Zhang Xiaobao saw that almost all the children here came to play. Their faces were full of smiles. He was happy. He wanted to spend more money to make the children happy. It doesn't cost much anyway. If money can buy happiness, it is worth it. Unfortunately, the kaleidoscopes can only be seen here and can't be taken away. After all, that thing is too expensive. If everyone has one, it can't be sold at a high price in the future. It will also harm them. Wang Wan also agreed with Zhang Xiaobao's suggestion of a competition. It was just an excuse to give people things for free. She thought of the kaleidoscopes. That thing was not expensive, but it was definitely not cheap. If it was really given to the children here, when they knew the price in the future, would they keep it or sell it? It was easy to cause trouble. The two of them found the person in charge here. After some instructions, when the children knew that there were good things, the whole amusement park was filled with children's cheers. At this time, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had already ridden on the wooden horse. With the impact of the water, the wooden horse rotated up and down. The two of them originally thought that they could experience the joy of childhood, but now they found that even with their current bodies, they could not find the feeling of the past. On the contrary, the children here were very excited to ride on the wooden horse. Life, once it is gone, it can never be found again. Even the setbacks in childhood are beautiful memories now. What a pity. After riding for a while, Zhang Xiaobao realized that there were other children waiting there. He said something to Wang Wan, who was beside him, and jumped down to carry the 4-year-old child up. He even held him in place so that he wouldn't accidentally fall off. The child wiped his nose and smiled happily. From time to time, he waved his hand at the Master Jia who was standing below. Wang Wan also gave her position to others. She stood there and watched, trying to find the past from the children. In fact, I haven't been to the amusement park many times. How can I have the time? My family is busy, and I have to keep learning just to be better than the children of the same age. After so many years, I have a little regret but also a little pride. This is the child we were at that time, gambling on tomorrow with youth. Wang Wan also sighed with emotion. She pulled Zhang Xiaobao and walked to the slide. Even if they did not have the feeling of childhood, they should still play. From the time this thing was made until now, the two of them had not played with it. Besides, this slide was different from the wooden horse. When they came down from a high place, no matter what kind of training they had had, they would still have a special feeling. The ladder of the slide was wide, and the height of each step was not high. This way, there was no need to worry about the children accidentally falling from above. The adults were also watching from below. At the bottom of the slide, there was a sand pit, and there were a few quilts on it. This slide was 3 feet high. When the children were sliding down from above, they seemed to have never had such an experience. They were very nervous. One of them did not dare to slide down halfway. He held on to the protective places on both sides with his hands and did not want to go down. The children waiting at the top kept urging him. The adults below kept persuading the children to let go of their hands, which led to the laughter of others. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not have any good ideas. The children were afraid. The problem was that they were still sliding down. Wouldn't it be better if they did not come down? Go up and get the children down, Zhang Xiaobao said and ran up from the other side. He asked the people waiting at the bottom of the slide to make way. He slid over. When he reached the child in the middle, he slowed down and said a few words. Then he carried the child down. What did you say to him? Wang Wan asked curiously. I said there is good food to eat down there. If you don't go down, it will be eaten by others. Zhang Xiaobao replied with a smile. Sure enough, the child who came down opened his eyes wide and looked at Zhang Xiaobao, waiting to eat. Wang Wan had to go to the place selling baked egg rolls and get an egg roll for the child. However, the child turned around and wanted to go up again. I'll say this first. If you continue to stay in the middle and wait for others to give you food, there won't be any left. Wang Wan knew what he was thinking when she saw the little boy's rolling eyes, so she said this. The child immediately stopped regretfully. He turned around and took the egg roll from the master's hand and ate it bit by bit. At his speed, it was estimated that he could finish the egg roll for an hour. Obviously, he was reluctant to part with it. The productivity is not developed, and the supplies are not enough. Even some of the things in life are greatly affected. Seeing him eat reminds me of the ice cream that someone once gave me. It melted in the end, but I haven't finished it yet. When will all the children be able to eat as much as they want? Zhang Xiaobao went to get another egg roll and gave it to the child. In the end, the child gave the egg roll to his mother so that she could try it. Wang Wan said with a smile, Actually, this is good. At least the child knows how to cherish. When Lu Zhou's life is better in the future, it will be a kind of happiness for them to remember. Just like how we are now, they can feel a little sentimental. Little young master, let's make another slide. At this time, a little girl about 5 years old came over and pulled Zhang Xiaobao's clothes in fear. She begged in a low voice. Her father was frightened and immediately came over to take the child away. Zhang Xiaobao stopped the adult, patted the little girl's head and said, Well, let's make another slide. But this time we won't make a slide like this one. Make a water slide. We'll directly rush down from the top and fall into the water. Zhang Xiaobao suddenly thought of something else, a water slide. It was something that gave off the feeling of surfing. This was not only for children to play with but also for adults. However, adults naturally did not have the privilege of children. They had to spend money to play with it. The little girl's father smiled apologetically at Zhang Xiaobao and said, Little young master, don't listen to this little girl's nonsense. We know that this slide costs a lot of money. It's made of iron. Doesn't one cost more than 100 strings of coins? You don't have to make another one. One is enough. Zhang Xiaobao nodded and did not explain further. Anyway, he had already decided to make a water slide. The water that rushed down from the top was easy to deal with. He also used a water wheel to send it up. He just needed to make a slightly bigger pool. This project was not small. It needed to be built at such a high place. Otherwise, it would not be able to hold so much water. The little girl was a little disappointed, but she knew that this thing was expensive, so she nodded obediently. She gave Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan a charming smile and let her father lead her to another place to play. "Let's go. This place doesn't belong to us anymore," Wang Wan said to Zhang Xiaobao. "Let's go. After all, this place doesn't belong to us anymore. Let's go to the dock and see how many sharks they've killed to make delicious shark fins. The shark skin can be used to make swimming clothes. If we can find some rich people to come here, we can sell them the swimsuits. Let's go. We won't look." As Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan walked towards the pier together, Zhang Xiaobao couldn't help but look longingly at the children playing there. When the two of them came to the dock where the fish were processed, the smell of blood washed over them from afar. When they got closer, they saw a lot of blood flowing into the sea. From time to time, people went in and out of that place. "We have to think of a way to solve this environmental problem. If we keep washing the blood in, how many flies will it attract? Let's build a special boat and let them process it on the boat." Wang Wan smelled the smell of blood and looked at the flies hovering in the sky. Zhang Xiaobao also noticed this problem. He thought for a while and said, "We don't know how long it will take to build a boat. Let's not wait. We'll change a cargo boat and use it as their workshop. We'll arrange it in a while." "Little master, little miss, you two are here. The smell of blood here is too strong. It's better to look at it from afar. Otherwise you will have nightmares at night." When the steward in charge of the situation here saw the two of them coming, he quickly came forward to persuade them. "There's no need. Is there any shark skin that is more complete?" Zhang Xiaobao asked the manager. The steward revealed a troubled expression. When they went out, they had already been instructed to keep the shark's skin intact as much as possible. However, it was too dangerous to kill it. Everyone just wanted to kill it quickly and neglected this matter. Seeing the steward's expression, Zhang Xiaobao understood. "It's fine if there isn't. As long as the people are fine, it's fine. Get the damaged shark skin. When the time comes, we can make something with it. Little Gongzi, that place is really too dangerous. We all tied ourselves up with ropes. Otherwise it would be very easy for us to fall. Little Gongzi, is it possible to make a strong net? When the time comes, we can use that to catch sharks. The net we used last time was broken by the sharks." Seeing that the little master and the little miss didn't pursue the matter, the steward was relieved and told his idea. "Oh, so the nets don't work. Seems that we have to make the boats bigger. When the time comes, we can use the nets made of iron wires to catch the sharks. This matter will be arranged when we go back. You can continue. Remember not to throw away the fishing float. It's delicious." Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao had discussed using nets to catch the sharks. They also mentioned iron wires. But now, iron wires were not easy to make. They needed craftsmen to make them bit by bit. The two of them didn't have a wire drawing machine. After giving another order, the two of them didn't stay here any longer. They took a few shark fishing floats and prepared to go back to make some dishes. Then they rowed back. "Cuckoo, do you think we can find a way to get a few whales here? The kind that can be shot with cannons or crossbows. There are more good things on the whales." On the way back, Zhang Xiaobao sat behind Wang Wan and asked while holding the shark fishing floats in his hand. "I can't make cannons now, and I don't dare to do it. If it's discovered, it'll be over. As for the crossbows, we have to ask Li Sun. Do you dare to make the crossbows directly? Let's see if Li Sun can think of a way to let us not be restricted. Also, let's talk to Grandpa Bai. Otherwise, as long as this thing appears, it will be big trouble." Wang Wan replied after thinking for a while. The two of them were silent for a while. This matter was really too difficult. That kind of large-scale war weapon couldn't be made casually. The technology was difficult for others, but it was easy for them. However, they didn't dare to do it casually. Now they made some weapons, but they were all small ones. No one would investigate, and they did it in the name of conscription. After a while, Zhang Xiaobao said, "Let's have someone make it first. When the time comes, we will put it on the boat. As long as no one else sees it, it will be fine. Catching a whale can let many people eat fish meat. Let's bring up the matter first and take it slowly." With Zhang Xiaobao's words, Wang Wan didn't care anymore. She sped up, and the horse began to gallop from its previous stroll. When the two of them returned to the yamen, Li Sun was already waiting at the door. He didn't go in to wait but sat on the stairs outside. He held his chin with both hands and was thinking about something. His eyes were looking at the distant sky. No one knew what he was thinking. Chapter 519. Cooperation. How do they want to cooperate? Zhang Xiaobao asked as he jumped down from his horse. What they are thinking is that they will use money to buy a part of the things that I have built over there. When the time comes, the income of that place will be theirs. Also, some of our carriages and horses will be given to them. I really don't know what they are thinking. How can they say such a thing? Li Sun showed a helpless expression. When Zhang Xiaobao heard this, he also felt that the people of the Yellow River Shipping Company were stupid. How could they have such a stupid idea? If it was anyone else, they wouldn't agree. Thinking of the 12 owners, Zhang Xiaobao shook his head and said to Li Sun, "Don't pay attention to them. Do you have other things to do? If it's just such a small matter, then you wouldn't be sitting at the door waiting." Li Sun saw that Zhang Xiaobao saw through him and nodded. He sighed and said, "There's news from the capital. I will have my own fief. It's not a false title. They really want me to go somewhere else. I don't know where I will go. I might have to leave soon. Originally, I wanted to wait for your father's matter to be done before I let your family follow. Now it seems that there's not enough time. When the time comes, we won't be able to see each other. If we want to see each other, we will have to travel a long way. I really don't want to leave." Li Sun finally said what was troubling him. He just received the news today. He was old enough to have his own place. If it was in the past, he would be very happy. But now he didn't want to leave Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He only felt interesting when he was with the two of them. Others were afraid of him. Zhang Xiaobao was very surprised when he heard the news. After calculating, Li Sun was indeed old enough. If he left, not only would he have one less person to play with, but he also couldn't do many things. He was still counting on Li Sun to make the siege crossbow. After thinking about it, Zhang Xiaobao asked, "Isn't it not settled yet? You can think of a way to delay it. I estimate that by the second harvest this year, my father will have to move to another place. At that time you can arrange a place to go. It shouldn't be too difficult. You can cause a small trouble or do something that can't be interrupted. That way your time in the fief will be extended." "What can't be interrupted? I can't think of anything. You and I know each other, so help me think of a way." When Li Sun heard Zhang Xiaobao's words, he felt a glimmer of hope. He no longer had the ability to ask Zhang Xiaobao for help. "All right, think about it. Think about it carefully. There's no rush. Even if they've made a decision now, it'll take some time for them to send the news over. You can continue with your work on that thing on the mountain. Cuckoo and I will think of a way for you." Zhang Xiaobao did not have any good ideas at this moment. Everything happened too suddenly. However, he was confident that he could find a reason to make Li Sun stay in Luzhou for a few more days. When his father was about to leave, he would follow Li Sun to his fief. Li Sun's fief would not be an entire province, but it would not be small either. Naturally, his father would not be able to work in the imperial court. He would have to continue training outside. Perhaps, he would be able to promote his position as a lower fourth-grade official. If he was promoted to a higher fourth-grade official or lower third-grade official, he would still be a provincial governor outside. Li Sun nodded. He felt more at ease now. He did not say anything more to the two of them. He turned around and left. He had to make a trip to the mountain and settle the matters there as soon as possible. Otherwise, he would not have the time to care about it if it was not settled by the time he left. What should we do? If he leaves, we'll have one less person to help us. We have to think of a way. Xiao Bao, let's think about it separately. When the time comes, we'll think of a way together. If we think together, we'll be easily influenced by the other person. Wang Wan did not want Li Sun to leave so early. Both of them wanted to train Li Sun properly. Therefore, she suggested that they split up to think of a way. The two of them found a place to sit and thought hard. The people of the Yellow River Shipping Company had their eyes opened this time. Although they could see many dangerous places on both sides of the Yellow River, the 100,000 mountains gave them a different feeling. The mountains and rivers here, as well as the rainbow-colored waterfall, were very attractive. They had played these days and participated in hunting activities. None of them wanted to leave. They wanted to walk around here more. Although they had spent a lot of money, they did not feel any heartache. What they were thinking now was that since the people here did not feel any heartache after spending money, then the rich people from other places must be the same. Therefore, they wanted to occupy some space here. Sun Dongjia had already found the person in charge left behind by Li Sun to discuss this matter. However, the person in charge had no right to decide. He could only let them wait for a while and ask the little prince before they could give an answer. It's really good here, especially those houses. It would be great if we could buy one. Unfortunately, they only rent it to the outside and there is a time limit. One person can rent it for 5 days at a time. After 5 days, they have to give it to others. I don't know who came up with this idea. It's really amazing. A landlord was lying in the stream, looking at the white clouds in the sky and listening to the chirping of the surrounding birds. The people next to him also followed his example and lied there. However, some people didn't know what benefits there were in renting a house for 5 days, so they asked, "So what if it's 5 days? So what if it's 10 days? Isn't it still in this place? What's more, it's impossible for people to stay here for 5 days, right? After 2 days they should continue to look at other places. In my opinion, 5 days is a bit too long. Who will rent for 5 days? 2 or 3 days will be enough." Hearing someone ask, the person who just spoke immediately said, "You don't understand. Some places don't need 5 days, but some places with good scenery are different. People who come here to visit can't stay in a place with good scenery for 5 days. This is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that the local specialties in this place are better, and there are people helping to guard them. If you come from other places, will you be alone? Of course, you have to bring more people with you. Some people will stay here and some will go to other places. They have a special place to make food here. Different places have different things to pick. In addition, there are many women. A man can't be with all the women all the time. Of course, they have to be separated. When that time comes, they will think of arranging women here and there. When they think of having their own women everywhere, that feeling. Speaking of these things, this person laughed. The others also understood when they heard this. It was indeed so. Especially in this mysterious mountain, arranging people to wait in different places would make one feel like a king. At this time, Sun Dongjia also said, "Not only that, the main thing is that I'm afraid that some people will rent the houses in key areas. When the time comes, they will rent it out to others at a high price. This is something that the people here don't allow. I reckon that it would be impossible for us to buy a part of this place. Who would give up such a good place? Look at those houses they built. They are clearly for renting out to some people who do business. When the time comes, we can just occupy more houses. As for buying a place, don't think about it. If that's the case, why do we still want to talk to them about buying? If we knew this, we would have just discussed with them about renting some good places." The person who asked the question asked at this time. Among the 12 people here, this person seemed to be the most stupid. Sun Dongjia was easy to talk to. When he heard the other person's question, he explained, "The reason is simple. In fact, those people might not be easy to talk to. If we directly say that we want to rent some places, they will ask for a high price. They might even deliberately make things difficult for us. However, if we say that we want to buy this place, it's different. If they don't agree, they will give up some things and let us choose. In this way, we don't have to take the initiative to rent those places from them at a low price. When Sun Dongjia said this, the person finally understood. He smiled and said, I see. Good, when we meet their people, we will insist on buying this place and wait for them to make a concession. Good idea. Sun Dongjia is really smart. However, this place doesn't seem to be completely under Lu Zhou's control. Why don't we buy this place from other provinces? Can Lu Zhou's provincial governor be in charge of other provinces? The person next to Sun Dongjia did not wait for him to speak this time. He explained to the stupid person, the people from other provinces can't control this place. There are many mountain people here. Even if they sell this place to us in name, it's useless. Do you dare to go against the people here? Putting aside the fact that the person who created this place is a member of the imperial family, even if you don't care about his identity, can you protect this place? He can transfer all the people under his protection away and ask you to find a way here on your own. What ideas do you have? Ask the locals for help. The locals who can hunt here safely have long been taken away by others. Do you think they will wait for you? Ask them to transfer people from other provinces. Who do you have that can be transferred here? It's impossible. Even if those people are very powerful, they are not familiar with the situation here. They are useless. It's very likely that they will be eaten by some wild beasts. Then what should we do? Can we only rent it? I'm worried that it won't be worth it if there are fewer people in the future. It's different if we buy it. We only have to spend money once and no one else will come. We can still stay here in the future. If there are fewer people renting it, we probably won't be able to earn back the rent. He's a member of the imperial family, so he naturally doesn't care about how much it costs to build things here. But we can't afford it. No, if the rent is too expensive, I will withdraw. The person who asked the question just now began to voice his thoughts. He didn't seem to be too stupid and knew the situation here. They hadn't even started to discuss whether to rent this place or not, and such a thing had already happened among their own people. This made Sun Dongjia feel very embarrassed and helpless. He was afraid that some people would not band together at the crucial moment. Now that there were already signs of it, he didn't know what would happen when the time came. At this point, the 12 people didn't have much intention to continue staying at the stream. They stood up one after another and ignored the water dripping from their bodies. After a while they would be dry. Let's go and continue to look around. This place isn't small. No one knows if there is a better place. If we want to rent it, we have to occupy the best place. Sun Dongjia wiped his face with his hand and led the way forward. The 11 people followed behind him. As the group of people walked, they arrived at the waterfall with many rainbows that Li Sun had discovered. The water of the waterfall was still flowing, and rainbows appeared on the top of the waterfall, appearing very dazzling under the sunlight. There is actually such a place. Look at that pavilion. It's a pity that there is no house for business next to it. What should we do? I think there will be a lot of people here when we arrive. No, we have to discuss it with them and rent the pavilion and the corridor that extends into it. I'm willing to spend a lot of money. Even if other people don't come, I can follow the boat and come here to have a look in the future. Don't fight with me. I want this pavilion. When a boss saw the scenery here, he immediately said to the others. Boss Sun finally couldn't bear it this time. Even if his temper was good, he couldn't watch these people become disunited in order to compete for a place. Otherwise, when the time came to discuss things with the people here, they would be attacked one by one. After hearing this person's words, Sun Dongjia's face sank and said, What are you thinking? If they start to compete now, then when their people talk to us, they will also compete for a place. If they say that the person who offers the most will get the place, then we will help them raise the price. Listen to me, if you see a good place, then remember it. When the time comes, we will arrange these good places and divide them among ourselves. We can't let others take advantage of us. Also, no one is allowed to contact the people here in private. Otherwise, even if you secretly buy a good place here, you can only stay here. There will be no place for you on the Yellow River. Did you hear me? I will say this again. Sun Dongjia didn't have the intention to joke at this time. He looked at everyone with a serious face. Everyone understood the importance of this matter. On the Yellow River, Sun Dongjia's boat was the most powerful. One by one they nodded. They didn't want to lose the business in the Yellow River after getting a place here. No matter how good this place was, it was just a place to do business. The Yellow River was their foundation. Without the Yellow River they would be finished. Therefore, after knowing that they couldn't bring out their thoughts, one by one, they began to agree with Sun Dongjia's words. Seeing that they understood his meaning, Sun Dongjia was relieved. He said to them, "In the next few days, we need to spend more money to let them know that we are not short of money. This way they will care about us. After all, everyone wants to make money. Even if we lose some this time, it's nothing. But we must not casually take out money to buy things. We need to buy things that are useless to us, but will be popular in the future. When we go back, we need to think about how to make these things more valuable. Alright, that's what I mean. Let's go and have a look at the pavilion first." When everyone heard Sun Dongjia's words, they nodded. They really wanted to play here. They didn't care about the people around them. By the time they arrived at the pavilion, Li Sun's side was also rushing over on their horses. It would probably take at least 5 days to find them. After all, they were quite far away. The people of the Yellow River Shipping Company found their things, but the people who came to cheat had been anxiously waiting. Now they were a bit regretful. When they said this idea, they forgot that the fish grew slowly. The fish they gave out were not big. This made them have to wait for a long time. Now they were a bit worried that if they spread the news, their master would be angry. They stayed together to think about what to do. The head of the Chamber of Commerce sat in the middle. He looked at the people around him and said, "Everyone, what should we do now? We can't just do nothing and go on as before. We have to wait until next year. We can wait, but our master can't wait." Who came up with this idea? As he spoke, his eyes looked at the person sitting closest to him on the left. This person was a bit scared. Wei Wei lowered her head, but she was scolding them in her heart. "When I said this idea, you didn't oppose it. Now that you found that you didn't think it through enough, you stood up and said something. You even pushed the responsibility to me. What were you doing in the beginning?" Although he thought so, he absolutely didn't dare to say it. If he really said it, he would be handed over. Others would wait for him to take the responsibility. Seeing that they asked him, he had to bite the bullet and admit it. "Yes, I didn't think it through at the beginning. I was wrong. I will take responsibility for this matter. But now is not the time to find out who is responsible. We should think about what we should do. Didn't I tell them to feed the fish noodles? That way they would waste a lot of noodles. But who knew that they didn't do as we said? What should we do? Should we say that we don't accept the fish eggs that eat other things? That's fine, but we won't accept it. It's just a little bit of money. They now have a total of 20 people who are willing to do this. Together they only have enough money. What's the use of this little money? It's useless to Zhang. They don't care about this little money at all. Should we say that we cheated the Zhang family of their business and cheated them of their money? This person seemed very helpless when talking about this matter, but it was normal. After all, it was the first time. If all the people agreed, then something bad would have happened. But now they couldn't leave immediately. If others knew about this, not only would they not laugh at Zhang, but they would also laugh at the entire Ning clan if they knew that they were sent by the Ning clan. It was like two kids were quarreling, and one of them scolded the other, then covered his ears and shouted, "I can't hear you, I can't hear you, I can't hear you, I'm the one who took advantage of you." Their goal this time was to cheat at least 10,000 strings of cash. In other words, they had to cheat a lot of people. But this fish was too small and couldn't lay eggs. They couldn't wait any longer. After this person finished speaking, the others didn't continue to stare at him. After all, he said that he would take all the responsibility, so they couldn't do anything to him. At this time a person next to him said, "How about this? Let's not care about their small fish first. We'll send them some big fish. It's best to send them the ones that are about to lay eggs. Let them sell it first. This time, our master gave us 7,000 strings of cash to do this. As long as we don't spend all the money before the last scam, it's fine. When more people join us, we'll have more money in our hands. We'll use the money they've submitted as collateral to give them interest. The more we collect, the less we give. When they've basically all raised fish, I estimate that we'll be able to get 30 to 40,000 strings of cash this time." As this person spoke, he revealed a look of yearning. At the same time, he admired those powerful people in his family even more. They could actually think of such a way to make money. The others also thought the same. They now wanted to do their first business as soon as possible. In that case, let's send people back to find the fish. The sooner the better. We'll write a letter to the master now. We'll take the responsibility together. We can't let one person bear it. Chapter 520. When the people from the Five Lakes Chamber of Commerce sent people to look for fish, the people that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan arranged started to follow behind. They wanted to find the source of these fish. When the time came, it would be time for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan to strike back. "Xiaobao, I thought of an idea, but I don't know if it will work." Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, who were thinking of ideas for Li Sun, gathered together again. Wang Wan sat there and said to Zhang Xiaobao, "Okay, tell me, what's the idea?" Zhang Xiaobao was also curious. He didn't know what Wang Wan thought of. Wang Wan thought for a moment and said with uncertainty, "Actually, it's just making weapons. Let Li Sun make the weapons here. That way, I believe that the people from the court will send people over to help. They won't call Li Sun away directly. The weapons will be water mines, made with our gunpowder. What do you think?" Actually, ever since we made those fireworks, the people from the court have been thinking about making those fireworks into weapons. It's just that it's not easy to make those shells. Otherwise, they would have made cannons a long time ago. They still don't fully understand how to use the gunpowder, so they're still experimenting. Since they know about it and didn't restrict others from using firecrackers, it means that they think that it's very difficult to make these things into weapons. We can think of a way to remind them, so they shouldn't be so anxious to arrange things for Li Sun. What do you think? After hearing Wang Wan's words, Zhang Xiaobao thought about it. After a while he shook his head and said, "I don't think so. The fireworks we made were originally for fun. Even if the people from the court know about the power of the explosions, they won't think that we made them for weapons. Once we say that we want to make weapons, the first thing that the people from the court will do is send a large number of soldiers to protect us and make us cooperate with them to make those weapons. They won't have any freedom, and Li Sun will also be involved. Even if he's a member of the imperial family, there are too many children of the imperial family. Li Sun can even make a move on his own family, let alone someone like Li Sun who isn't very close to him. We can't do that. We can research weapons, but we can only do it ourselves. Right, we can do it now. There are a lot of small islands over there. We can't wait any longer. You don't have to worry about Li Sun's matter. You know a lot about this. You'll be in charge of the structure of the gun and the various uses of gunpowder. As long as it's successful, we'll secretly make more. It's not easy to make a gun, right? Then we'll just make cannons. There aren't that good. Just use copper. It'll be best if we can make a bomb and not an ordinary iron ball." When Zhang Xiaobao heard Wang Wan mention weapons, he suddenly remembered that he had the conditions to make them. Moreover, he didn't need to worry about other people knowing about it. He could just let the people from the inner court occupy an empty island and experiment with it however they want. This was much better than when they were in Beijing. Wang Wan stared for a moment, then she nodded and said, "All right, I'll think of a way. The cannons are easy to deal with. The main problem is the bullets. Guns are simple, they use copper. It's fine if they're heavy. But the gunpowder in the bullets needs to be fired. This will take a lot of effort. I need to think about it. We were talking about Li Sun. Why are you talking about Li Sun? What are you going to do about Li Sun? You don't need to worry about the weapons. I'll have people make some good springs first. There aren't enough springs to make a sofa, but to make a gun, no matter how much money is spent, we need to find a suitable metal. As Wang Wan spoke, she realized that the two of them had gone off topic. She complained to Zhang Xiaobao and took over the task of making weapons. This was relatively simple for her. The structure of the gun and the function of each part were relatively simple for her. If she didn't know, it would be a big joke. If Zhang Xiaobao hadn't brought up the matter of making weapons, she really wouldn't have thought of this. In war, of course, guns were more useful than bows and arrows. Especially after the spring was created, there was no need to manually fire a bullet again and again. She was going to use good metal to make 2 pistols, one for each of her and Xiaobao. When the time came, she would carry them with her. As long as someone had any ideas about the two of them, she would make that person regret being born in this world. She believed that with her and Xiaobao's marksmanship, it was basically a matter of getting rid of a person with 1 bullet. When the pistols were made, they would start to make long guns and slowly adjust them. As long as it could hit a distance of 800 meters, it could be used as a sniper rifle. At least in this era, that kind of gun was in existence like a divine weapon. As for the cannon, it was simple. They would make a cylinder out of copper, then put gunpowder and a large iron ball. When it was ignited, it would be fired. As for the cannonballs that could explode, they would have to wait until the bullets were made. Thinking of this, Wang Wan was relieved. She was ready to fight. Now, she was waiting to see what kind of idea Zhang Xiaobao could come up with to help Li Sun stay in this place. Zhang Xiaobao's idea was actually not perfect, but it had to be said. This time it was not a small matter. She hoped that nothing else would happen when the time came. Seeing that Wang Wan was waiting, Zhang Xiaobao gently knocked on the table with his hand and said, "In fact, it's very simple. The way to divert some attention is to start a war. I'm going to start a war with one of the small tribes next to us. Of course, I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to make them pay tribute. Some of the small tribes here haven't paid tribute to us. And the most important thing is that they haven't been fully civilized. We have to help them educate the people. This matter naturally needs to be done by someone with a high status. It's too late for other people to come over. Let's have Royal Li Sun go over. Find a tribe, the one on the other side of the sea, or the one in Vietnam in the future. But there are too many mountains over there, so it's not easy to deal with. In that case, let's set a smaller target and send people to trade with them first. Then let's tell them that we have better things to trade with them. What do you think will happen when the time comes? Let's set the price of our goods at a high price and lower the price of their goods at a low price. For example, all the goods on their side can be exchanged for 100 caddies of goods on our side. Then what we need to do is to send 1,000 caddies of goods to them. As long as they accumulate some goods, we can use the goods on our side to exchange with them. This way they can clearly see our goods. However, we have to use their good goods to exchange. You want them to take the initiative to attack? You want to use those things to tempt them. When Wang Wan heard Zhang Xiaobao's idea, she knew what he was thinking. This was too immoral. Thinking of this, she suddenly said, "Then what about the people we send over there to exchange things with them? Are you going to sacrifice those people to achieve a political goal? I don't agree. Our people can't die like that. Otherwise, I will feel uneasy for the rest of my life. I absolutely can't do this kind of thing that takes the initiative to send people to their deaths. No one can go. Think of another way. This is rejected." Wang Wan considered some things. In order to find an excuse to start a war, some countries clearly knew that their people would be hurt, but they pretended not to know so that they could use this as an excuse to start a war. Although sometimes, as a general, she had to send out some bait to lure the enemy, so as to achieve a strategic goal, Wang Wan wasn't going to do this now. After all, she was going to make a new weapon. In the face of absolute strength, there was no need to use other schemes. It's not what you think. Seeing Wang Wan's reaction so big, Zhang Xiaobao quickly explained. In fact, after our people go over, we have to sit on the boat, a certain distance away from them, and then hire the local people to help guard the temporary warehouse. Let our people be more careful, as long as they don't let others touch the boat. During the day we send a few people over there to exchange things, and they will return to the boat at night. In this way, they will naturally choose to attack at night. Whether they kill the people over there or not, we have a reason to attack them. Of course, this kind of thing is not very moral, but it's better than our people dying, right? What's more, we just gave them a little push to kill. If they are not greedy in their hearts and can be united with the local people, we can't find such an excuse even if we want to. When Zhang Xiaobao was thinking of this idea, he kept asking himself whether he was an invader, an enemy of human peace. Should he be written into textbooks at some point in the future and let people belittle him? No matter what excuse he used, this behavior was an invasion, and it broke the original life of people. Even if there were wars between the various tribes of those people, and even if there were killings in the same tribe, it was their own business after all. The only thing Zhang Xiaobao could calm himself down was that since there were wars between the tribes, then they should treat the earth as a bigger tribe. Everyone was a part of this big tribe, and everyone was involved in internal wars. After hearing Zhang Xiaobao's idea, Wang Wan thought of the same problem, which was invading war. However, she was a soldier, so she immediately put this aside and said, "Okay, let's do it. If we don't take those resources, they will be taken by others in the end. The heavy responsibility of world peace will be left to others to take care of, and we will not be the executioners. For the sake of our country and for the sake of our own lives, when some people call us devils, I believe that we will be written as heroes in our history books." Agree. You go and arrange it, and then find a way to ask your father to make a notice. It will say that the locals who were hired by us now belong to the Tang Empire, and they are part of it. As long as they are attacked, we will use this as an excuse to deal with them. Let's split up. I will make the cannons, and you will do this. Let's go. The two of them split up to do their own things. Zhang Xiaobao first asked someone to go to the mountain over there to call Li Sun and his family's guards back. This action required their participation. Then, he went to find his father and told him the matter. Of course, Zhang Xiaobao did not say that there would be a war at this time. He only said that he would send a ship to take a look over there. If they had good things that they needed here, they could use the goods here to exchange for them. He also mentioned that the people over there should be some minor officials or something, and they should be given a place of origin. Zhang Zhong could not be given a major official. It was up to the imperial court to decide. If he was really given a major official position, he would not be able to stay here anymore. He would be arrested and sent to the capital. The imperial court would not say anything if he were to give a minor official with no power and a salary that did not need to be paid by the imperial court. After all, Zhang Zhong was in charge of a province. He needed people to do things for him, and it would be easier for him to get a place of origin. No one would care about this. After these things were arranged, Zhang Xiaobao took the blank thing that his father had stamped and left. This preparation would start when they arrived at the other side. Zhang Xiaobao had also thought about the place. It was a little far, but since the people from Japan could come here, with the help of the ships here and his and Wang Wan's familiarity with the ocean currents and the monsoon, he believed that the fleet would be able to get there. This place was Luzon Island, which was relatively close to Hainan Island. Of course, it did not have such a name yet. After all, it was not the Song dynasty. It was a good place. Zhang Xiaobao planned to use a few months to build a dock that could be used to disembark at any time. The dock on Lu Zhou's side was a little too far at this time. He needed to discuss with the people on Hainan Island and ask them to build a dock there. If it really did not work, he could occupy a few places on those islands so that they could go back and forth to support each other. When Wang Wan heard about this place, she nodded. "It's fine here. Fight and make as many ships as you can. Send more people there and occupy that place. That place is very important strategically. If we don't get it in Tang, we'll be letting down our chance to come here." "Think so too. This time we'll go all out. Life on the sea is not so easy. If we could go there in the Song dynasty, then logically speaking we should be able to go there now. Our shipbuilding skills are not bad. Why hasn't anyone been there before? Zhang Xiaobao was relieved when he saw that Wang Wan did not object. However, he was puzzled why no one had gone there at this time. As long as they walked close to the sea, they should be able to reach many places. Of course, there were still dangers, but it would be wrong not to go there. When Wang Wan saw that Zhang Xiaobao had to ask this, she said, "What's the point of going there? The country can't go there. Can you go there alone? Can you go there alone? Can you have such a big ship? Most importantly, it takes a long time to sail. If you don't know that there is such a place, how can you float in the vast sea just to see if you can find land? Not to mention the current ships. Even the ships of the Three Kingdoms era can go there without any problem, especially at the critical time when they are connected with iron chains. Then they can go back and forth. But people always have a purpose when they do things. Maybe some people here have been there before, but something happened. Maybe no one has ever thought of looking for another land on the sea. Who knows? Anyway, we are ready to do it this time. As long as we succeed this time, we can continue to build ships. Then Li Sun will represent Tang to talk about this matter. Just thinking about it makes me excited. In fact, I want to go to Africa the most. There are many good things there. Well, don't worry about that. This time, don't use the ship to go back to the capital. Use it to go to the sea directly. Prepare good things for them. Bring enough fresh water. If it's not enough, make something that can be used for distillation. Steam it with seawater, but the taste is a little worse. I've tasted the seawater before. After the seawater is distilled normally, if you don't use other methods to process it, it will still have a special taste. I'm not used to drinking it. Also, bring them fruits too. Bring dried fruits, especially those oranges. Make them into powder and let them drink it with water. I don't want them to all get sick when they come back. Also, bring some dried vegetables, dried meat, and so on. Bring more rice and dried dates. When the time comes, let them cook 8 treasures porridge. That's it. I will arrange it immediately. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan decided on something, they would not change it. Wang Wan thought for a while and decided to make powerful fireworks for the people who were going to see. At this time, the fireworks would be filled with pure gunpowder. At the critical moment, it could be used to scare some whales that would take the initiative to attack. It could also intimidate the people in that place. People were always full of curiosity and fear towards the unknown. If there really was a conflict the moment they arrived, then they would first use this thing to kill a few people and let the local people think that it was thunder from the heavens. They believed that it would be effective. Zhang Xiaobao also had to consider some specific matters on the other side. They could not provoke a tribe that was too big. They had too many people. When the time came, they would hide in the mountains. It would be difficult to deal with them. Even if they sent troops who had been trained for a period of time to fight in the jungle, it would still not work. The lives on his side were valuable. It was not worthwhile to use one to exchange for 10 of the other side's lives. He had to think of a safe way. The horses sent to find the people were faster. When Li Sun was still running halfway, 2 people on horses caught up with him. When he knew that Zhang Xiaobao had thought of a way, Li Sun thought for a while and followed the person who sent the order to go up the mountain first. Then, he came back with his guards and the people of the Zhang family. On the way, Li Sun asked the person who sent the order what Zhang Xiaobao had thought of. However, the person who sent the order did not know. Let alone him. Zhang Zhong only knew a little of the whole plan. How could he understand the meaning of this trip? This trip seemed to be to help Li Sun stay here for a few more days. But it was the beginning of a new era. The era of navigation was coming. No one knew what kind of consequences this would bring to the Tang Empire. It could be endless wealth, or it could be that those who would not have come here came early and caused a war. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were not worried at all. Even if some people came along that route, what could they do? They could let them see the power of the Tang Empire. At the same time, they could start trade. This was the prerequisite for the people of the Tang Empire to live a good life in the situation of undeveloped productivity. In particular, those special grain crops could be planted in many places. Since they were here to do business, they might as well set the prerequisite conditions for these things that might be obtained. At the dock, the Zhang family's boat began to be modified according to Zhang Xiaobao's idea. There was really a distillation device and a mirror on it. This mirror was not to be exchanged with the people there. It was used to help with the distillation when they were not burning firewood. Although it was a little slow, it was better than having no water. There was also a lot of firewood and alcohol on the boat. When the time came, not only could the alcohol be drunk, but it could also be used to light the fire. The most experienced old man also went with them. Zhang Xiaobao asked people to take good care of the old man no matter what. This was a fortune. Respect for the old man was respect for his knowledge. At the same time, it was also respect for himself. When the Zhang family was busy, it seemed to be different from before. Although it was not obvious on the surface, some familiar people felt that something was wrong. Old Man Pai and Old Man Chong felt it now. The two sat by the river, fishing and drinking tea. While eating the fried melon seeds, they talked about the Zhang family's recent actions. I say, why do I feel that the Zhang family is not going back? Seems like they want to go somewhere else. Otherwise, why would they put the distillation device on the boat? Could it be that they want to go somewhere else to make the wine? Old Man Chong had lifted the empty pole 4 times in a row, but he did not catch a single fish. He simply put the melon seeds on the pole. After eating one, he put the skin of the melon seeds in a special place for garbage. It was not allowed to casually throw things here. Old Man Pai had been fishing for a long time and was very experienced. In a short while he had caught 3 fish. He was very happy. When he returned, he asked the chef at Sea Cloud Cottage to make it. The two of them ate it with wine and dishes. After hearing Old Man Chang's words, he nodded and said, "That's true. In the past, they would not put so much food on the boat, unless they were specifically transporting food. This time they actually put so many kinds of food on the boat. There are all kinds of dried fruits and even the oranges were ground into powder. I really don't understand what they want to do." Chapter 521. While the two of them were talking, they saw a large ball of fire flash across the sky, followed by a cloud of black smoke. Immediately, a rumbling sound was heard, and the sound was very loud. The two of them were shocked and reacted at the same time. Old Man Chong immediately said, "No, this sound is not right. Why is it so loud? Do fireworks make such a loud sound? What are they doing? If this thing lands in the middle of a crowd, it will kill people." Old Man Pai also swallowed in shock and said, "That's true. It's not a normal firework. I know what this is. This is the weapon that the Ministry of Works and the Ministry of War in Beijing haven't been researching. Good, the Zhang family really knows how to use this thing. This thing is clearly a weapon for killing people. The firecrackers they made before are definitely different from this thing. I don't believe that they didn't know the power of this thing when they were making firecrackers. Otherwise, why would they guard the workshop so closely?" Old Man Pai stopped swallowing his saliva. He was swallowed, looking at the gradually dissipating black smoke in the sky. His whole body trembled, and his face felt numb. Old Man Chong also knew about this matter, but he did not understand why the Zhang family made these things. He asked, "Is the Zhang family thinking of rebelling? With such a good thing, the ordinary army will be in trouble, especially the horses. If they hear such a big noise, they will be scared to death." "What rebellion? With the Zhang family's small number of people. I don't know what they want to do. No, I have to ask. Let's go. If this matter is found out by someone with ulterior motives, it will be troublesome. The imperial court has not done anything yet, and they have already made this thing. What do you think the consequences will be?" Old Man Pai was not in the mood to go fishing. He wanted to figure out this matter as soon as possible. The two of them asked the people who followed them to pack up their things. They sat in the open car and rushed in that direction. While they were on their way, loud noises could be heard from the sky from time to time. They seemed to be getting louder and louder each time. The amount of smoke was also increasing, which meant that the amount of smoke was also increasing. The horse galloped for a while, but in the end, it didn't dare to go any further. No matter how hard the coachman tried, it was useless. Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai had no choice but to get out of the car and walk over. They wanted to know what the Zhang family was planning to do. When they were about to reach their destination, there was an even bigger commotion. However, it was not from the sky but from the ground. After the two of them were seen by the people from the inner courtyard of the Zhang family, Wang Wan, who was doing experiments inside, came out to greet them. "Grandpa Zhang, Grandpa Bai, why are the two of you here? There's a lot of activity here. Let's go somewhere else." Wang Wan stood at the entrance of the courtyard and didn't move aside. She just said to the two old men, "You know how to make a big commotion. We knew it even when we were there. If we didn't come, wouldn't you have blown up the sky? Tell me, why are you so bold? Is that something you can take out so casually?" Old Man Bai said angrily. He even had a double meaning. Wang Wan naturally understood what he meant. However, she had to create enough things to protect her own people. Before that, she had to do some experiments. Seeing the two old men's concerned expressions, Wang Wan hesitated for a moment. In the end, she moved aside and said, "Grandpa Bai, Grandpa Zhang, I made something fun again. Come in and take a look." Since the two of them had come, Wang Wan couldn't stop them. She might as well take the initiative. Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai also came for this. They followed Wang Wan in and saw a bamboo tube on the ground that had been blown up. When the two of them were curious before they could ask, Wang Wan took the initiative and said, "This is it. It's very fun. Someone come and do it again like just now. Grandpa Bai, Grandpa Zhang, you can't tell anyone about this fun thing. Otherwise it won't be fun anymore. Don't worry. We are all protecting you. We know what to say and what not to say," Old Man Pai said to Wang Wan when he saw the people over there busy. Those people from the inner courtyard brought over a new bamboo tube and fixed it at the bottom. Then they brought over a big round firework and left the twisters outside. Then they put it in and lit it. After that, they ran away as far as they could. With a bang, the bamboo tube sprayed a big fireball into the sky. It exploded in the sky with a bang. This time it was closer, and the movement was louder than before. After doing this, the people from the inner courtyard stuffed a tube made of paper into the bamboo tube. They also lit the twists, and this time it ran faster. When Old Man Chong opened his mouth and wanted to say something, another big fireball came out of the tube and exploded in the sky. Just as this fireball exploded, another one came out, and so on. 5 more came out in succession. The sky also exploded 5 times. Just as the people around were waiting for the 6th one to come out, the bamboo tube suddenly exploded. Wang Wan sighed in disappointment. She loosened the hand that was covering her ears and said, "It failed again. Normally, nothing happens when there are 30 fireworks, but this time it's a little different. Why did 5 of the 10 fireworks come out? Last time only 1 came out and then it exploded. What's the difference? The gunpowder burned too fast, and the twists inside were not connected properly. This won't do, we have to continue. Someone bring the copper tube here. It's okay if it's heavy, but it's better than being blown up at any time. If this thing explodes, what will the people carrying it do?" Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai listened to Wang Wan's muttering and began to sweat. Now they finally knew what the Zhang family was doing. They were putting that thing in the tube and then carrying it on their shoulders. If the fireworks directly went up to the sky, then this thing could adjust its direction at any time. Even if it wasn't very accurate, there was no problem with the general range. If this thing was set off horizontally, and with the power of today's fireworks, it definitely wouldn't be used for viewing. Could explode and kill people. The Zhang family was definitely using it as a weapon. The two people didn't know why the Zhang family brought Wang Wan here to do this experiment, but this thing couldn't be wrong. Old Man Pai looked at Wang Wan and asked, "Can you tell us what this thing is?" "Fireworks, big fireworks, and this one can adjust its direction. It's a pity that this thing isn't finished yet. If it was finished, It wouldn't have exploded before it was shot out. Wang Wan explained to Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai with an innocent face. Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai nodded at the same time. Old Man Pai said, "I know this thing is called a firework, but can you tell us what the consequences will be if this firework is set off at a person?" Set off at a person. Why should it be set off at a person? This thing can't be set off at a person. It's very dangerous and it can easily explode and kill people. Now that you mention it, I just remembered that this thing is a bit too powerful. In the future I'll have people make less of it. That's it. Wang Wan was still cute, but Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai didn't think she was cute anymore. This little girl actually lied in front of them without blushing. Actually, I just want to ask you if this thing can be made into a weapon. You should know that the Imperial Court is still researching it, but they haven't been able to figure it out yet. You made it first, so how are you going to explain it? Old Man Chong asked the truth. Wang Wan didn't continue to act like she didn't know anything like before. She said, "This thing can't be used as a weapon. It's just to scare people. If you really want to make it into a weapon, you need to continue researching it. My family made this thing to scare people. Don't be fooled by this thing. If you really want to use this thing to explode and kill people, you need to keep an eye on a person and release it. However, we can't be sure where it will fly after it's released. Especially during a war, this thing can't even fly as far as a bow and arrow. Who would use it as a weapon?" Wang Wan first introduced the shortcomings of this thing and then said, "Unless you put some iron nails or something in it. When the time comes and it explodes, even if it can't directly kill people, those things will fly everywhere. If it flies to the throat or eyes, the power will be great. Even if it enters someone's stomach, legs, arms and so on, it can affect the next battle. Yes, that's it. But our Zhang family doesn't like this. We want to do things well with others, so we won't use it as a weapon." After Wang Wan finished speaking, she looked at Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai and let them digest it. The two old men had been frightened by Wang Wan's words. Even if Wang Wan repeatedly emphasized that their family was peace-loving, the two old men no longer believed her. What peace-loving? Would a peace-loving person make such a thing? Who were they kidding? But the two old men were very happy. Just like what Wang Wan said, this thing might not be able to do anything directly, but as long as something else was added to it, it could cause great harm to people. Especially when it could be carried on one's shoulders. If everyone in their army carried some, they could use bows and arrows first. When the two sides charged, they would use this thing. The enemies facing them would immediately be beaten down, especially when facing cavalry. They would be scared off their horses and fall to the ground. "Can you tell me how to use this thing? I have to help you settle this matter." After Old Man Pai understood the function of this thing, he began to ask for the recipe. Wang Wan nodded, then shook her head and said, "I have the recipe, but Grandpa Bai, how are you going to send this recipe? Are you going to use a carrier pigeon or a military station? I won't say much about how precious this recipe is. If something happens along the way and the people from other countries get it, what do you think we should do at that time?" "That's right, this recipe cannot be leaked. Otherwise it would be over. If the surrounding countries that didn't dare to go to war knew about this recipe, they would definitely make a lot of them and attack us." But Zhao Hai didn't expect this. He didn't expect that this recipe would be leaked. Otherwise it would be over. He didn't expect this. The two old men were in a dilemma. Wang Wan said, "I don't think the Imperial Court is in a hurry. When we go back we can just bring it over. It won't take long. It's almost done when the construction of Luzhou is completed. Moreover, during this time we can continue to improve this method and find a better recipe. When that time comes, the Imperial Court won't have to waste any more effort. Naturally, we'll be the ones who understand it the best." Although Wang Wan said this, she had already decided in her heart that in the future, those more powerful things could not be easily known by others. Otherwise, would they not be sent to the Imperial Court? No matter what, she had to leave some backup plans in her family. Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai really did not have any better ideas. They nodded at the same time and prepared to leave so that the Zhang family could continue with the experiment. As soon as they turned around, before Wang Wan could breathe a sigh of relief, the two old men turned back at the same time. They looked at Wang Wan and asked, "Your fleet seems to be different from before. What do you want to do?" The two old men only remembered this question when they turned around, so they asked again with tacit understanding. "Nothing much. We'll go out to sea and have a look. If we can find something good, we'll bring it back. If there's something delicious, I'll leave it for Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai to eat slowly," Wang Wan said to the two old men with a smile. When the two old men heard Wang Wan's words, they were very touched. She would think of them whenever there was something good, but they always felt that things were not so simple. Old man Chong stared at Wang Wan with all his might. Wang Wan blinked her big eyes and looked back at him in confusion. "Okay, tell us the truth. What exactly are you planning to do? Also, why did you bring those things? There are still so many kinds of dried fruits, so many kinds of rice, and even tools for distilling wine such as kelp. Why didn't you bring them before?" Old man Chong saw that he could not see anything from Wang Wan's eyes, so he could only ask directly. Wang Wan made an expression of understanding. "Oh, so that's what it is. This is prepared for going out to sea, but it's not going to the capital according to the previous route. It's going to sail far away in the sea. Maybe we can find other places just like Japan. In the beginning, who knew that there was such a place? Didn't someone go there by boat, or people from the other side came by boat and found it? We're just preparing to see if we can find other places like this. If we find them, we can do business with them if there's someone there." Wang Wan's words were all guesses, and she was not so sure. The two old men finally could not find any flaws in her words. No matter how they thought about it, they would never have thought that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had already decided on a place and wanted to start a war. Old man Pai pondered for a moment and said, "So that's how it is. But you let them go out to sea. What if they encounter danger? Those things are the preparation for them to go further, right?" "Yes, that's it. The water at sea can't be drunk, so they can get water with those distilled things. Those fruits are to prevent diseases, and so are the others. I don't know how long they will go out this time. If they are blown away by a strong wind and lose their direction, they have to look for more before they can come back. How can they not be prepared?" Wang Wan didn't hide this matter. Of course, she didn't say what kind of illness these things were used to treat. Anyway, she just knew that they would get sick. Old man Chong was also listening to them. When Wang Wan finished explaining, he said, "If you really meet people there, can you speak the language of the other side? What if they fight?" "Yes, we can't speak the language of the other side. We can't even speak the language of the people who live in the mountains. I'm really worried. If they bully us, we will be beaten as soon as we get there. We don't have any good ideas. Let's think about it and tell Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai when we come up with something." Wang Wan also showed a worried expression and followed Old Man Chang's words. "What are you thinking about? Didn't you make those fireworks so that you won't be taken advantage of when you go to other places? You should have thought of this a long time ago. The Zhang family is only willing to take out their hidden things when they are forced to do things to that extent. Wan, tell me the truth. Do you think that the place you're going to will have a forest? Or a lot of them? And there will be a lot of locals there?" Old Man Pai suddenly interrupted and asked Wang Wan, "I don't know. Who knows what the place we are going to look like? Maybe we won't even find land," Wang Wan answered in confusion. "No, you must know. Otherwise, why would your family's Meow protection team go into the mountains to train? What does it mean to be able to create such a powerful firework here? It means that you must know something about the other side. Forget it. If you don't want to say it, don't say it. You will know when you come back. Remember to keep the good things for me and Old Man Chong." Old Man Pai was not a fool. As a person who could sit in the position of minister, how could he not know about the things that had been exposed? He immediately connected all the clues together. At this time he was really convinced. He had no choice but to be convinced. When the Zhang family was doing things here at first, he felt that they had changed a little. That was, they were interlocking with each other. Over here, they only took out measures to deal with problems when they encountered them. Who knew that the Zhang family was making a bigger plan? No wonder they had to build such a big pier, no wonder they had to build such a big dock, no wonder they had to train the troops here, and no wonder they took out such explosive weapons. It turned out that everything was for the last step. One could imagine what would happen when they really went there and found land and people. Every place in the Tang Empire might have different specialties. Some were beautiful and some could be used as medicinal materials. Who knew what good things there were over there? The Zhang family had gone out to make a lot of money. Good ability. It was just that he did not know when this plan started. If it was arranged when Zhang Zhong was the provincial governor over there, it was really too scary. Thinking of this, Old Man Bai's expression turned ugly. He was frightened. Such a grand plan was not something that he could figure out. He was a person who had once been a minister. If he could not figure it out, then the abilities of the two experts from the Zhang family could only be imagined. They even knew what diseases were prone to when they went out to sea, and had even made the necessary preparations. Old Man Bai's expression turned ugly. Old Man Zhang, who was beside him, was so frightened that he trembled. In the beginning, he didn't think as much as Old Man Bai. Now that Old Man Bai had said it out loud, even if he didn't know, he would know. He also heard about the Zhang family in Sanshui County and Huayuan County. As long as they did something that seemed to be unconnected, there must be a connection between them. In the end, they made things bigger and bigger to the point that no one dared to think about it. Now it seemed that it was the same. It was just that he did not know whether the Zhang family's current actions were the last step or just a part of a plan. He could not guess, but it was most likely a part of a plan. Probably only after Zhang Zhong left here would he know the result of this plan. He thought that it would be like before, scaring a lot of people. The two old men looked at each other, nodded to Wang Wan, and left without saying anything. Wang Wan stood in the yard and watched the two men leave. She smiled and said to herself, Guess as much as you can. If Xiao Bao's plan could be seen through directly, then he would not be Zhang Xiaobao. Humph, even I don't know what will happen in the end. You want to guess? Chapter 522. Old Man Pai originally didn't want to think about this matter, but after Old Man Chong said this, he couldn't help but think about it. After thinking for a while, he said, It shouldn't be, right? Even if the Zhang family found a place there, how could they have so many people to build a country? Using local people. They don't speak the same language as the locals, so they won't be able to do that in a short time. Think about it. The Zhang family will have a hard time dealing with the locals once they get there. If they really want to establish a country, won't the great Tang attack them? Why should we beat them up? It's not like that's the land of the great Tang. Do they really think that the entire world belongs to the great Tang? Moreover, we're not familiar with that place, and they can just slowly familiarize themselves with it. How could there be no one? There were already quite a number of people in their family. There's also the people from Zhuangzi in Sanshui County. If it were someone else, the people might not follow them. However, if the Zhang family wants the villagers to follow them, I believe they won't hesitate at all. Apart from that, there's also the people in Luzhou. If Zhang Zhong makes a call, how many of the people here will follow him? Old Man Chong understood and explained the advantages of the Zhang family. He thought for a while and said, How do you know that the Zhang family can't beat those locals? Didn't you see it just now? In order to go to other places, the Zhang family began to make weapons that could be carried on their shoulders. The Zhang family was able to make such a weapon the first time they were on guard. Do you think that the Zhang family wouldn't be able to come up with something even more powerful during the second battle? Just like what you said in your letter, the Zhang family made firecrackers in order to make money. The Zhang family blew up the other side of the river so that the water could pass through easily. This is exactly what we discussed during our discussion. As long as there is a need, the Zhang family will make it. You see, there isn't much to it now because they don't have that kind of need yet. Look at the pier and the seawall. The Zhang family needs it, so the cement is produced. They want to make more clairvoyance. The Zhang family needs it, so the glass is produced. Was there anything they wouldn't do? I'm really scared. If they establish a country there and turn around to attack Great Tang, wouldn't we become sinners? We've been protecting them all this time, especially you. You even participated in the matter of Zhang Zhong becoming the top scorer. The more Old Man Chang spoke, the smoother his words became. Towards the end, his expression changed. If the Zhang family and the Wang family suddenly didn't come back, the loss wouldn't be limited to the money earned from those transactions. Old Man Chang believed that without the Zhang family, those transactions would eventually become worse and worse. The most important thing was to lose 2 masters. That would be the most unbearable thing. If the masters worked for Great Tang, then Great Tang would have already destroyed those small countries that had been enduring. But now they could only let them exist, and there wasn't any good way to deal with them. Old Man Pai also felt a lot of pressure now. He also thought of this problem. He was protecting the Zhang family, so he couldn't be sure what the Zhang family was thinking. He could only think of some situations in a positive way. This way he would feel more comfortable. If one day the Zhang family really established a country in another place, his family would have to take the blame for the Zhang family. Considering these things, Old Man Pai took a deep breath and slowly exhaled. He said, I don't think the Zhang family will do this. Otherwise they wouldn't let us know. What are they going to do? The more people who know, the more danger there is. Do they think that we can always protect them? I believe they also understand why I protect them. One reason is that Xiao Bao and Cuckoo are too sensible. Another reason is that Zhang Zhong can always let the people live a good life with the help of the Zhang family. Most importantly, the 2 masters of the Zhang family can bring more benefits to Great Tang. If they have any thoughts of betrayal, as long as I have the ability, the first one to deal with them will be me. How can the 2 masters of the Zhang family not understand? Even if they understand, they still told us the secret. This is to tell us that they won't do anything bad to us. Sometimes some things depend on the person. The people of the Zhang family aren't that ambitious. I think what they do is the same as you and me. They are all doing it for the country. Otherwise, why would they give up the propeller? Why would they give up the jib sail technology? Old Man Pai could only let himself think like this. Otherwise, he would be driven crazy by this matter. Even if Old Man Chang still had doubts in his heart, he had to admit that what the Zhang family did was indeed for the country and for the people. Since a few years ago, they had slowly improved the lives of the people in their places. They even specially built hospitals. If they were more ruthless, they would have earned all the money. However, they didn't do that. They tried their best to arrange for the people to do things for them so that they could earn more income. They also thought of ways to increase the grain production. They had given up any benefit that they could give up. Only those who kept an eye on them knew how much of an impact their actions had on the Great Tang and how many benefits they had brought to the country. There was no second official or businessman like this in the Great Tang. If they really had other intentions, they would have kept more secrets. He believed that the 2 masters of the Zhang family would have been able to achieve their goals. Why would they give up all the good things? After thinking about it, Old Man Chang's mood improved. He said, they are indeed good people. Even if they have made a lot of money themselves, just look at the little prince. If they weren't good people, how could the little prince become so caring for the people? How many princes and marquises are free and unfettered all day long? But Li Sun has followed them and put his thoughts on the people. They can make money because of their ability, not because of other reasons. Especially Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. These 2 little guys know how to care for people. If I didn't take care of them like they did, I would have given up long ago. When they came, I already felt that I couldn't take it anymore. But those doctors and their usual diet helped me to heal the discomfort in my body. I had already taught them how to raise pigeons. I was useless to them, but they had been taking care of me all this time. And those old men and women who have no one to take care of them. They specially built a nursing home for the elderly and made so many games to help them relieve their boredom. In addition, this is a playground for the children. How could such people do such a disgraceful thing? I believe in them. I will continue to protect them in the future. Old Man Chong came to a conclusion. For a moment, the two of them were in a good mood again. When it was time to fish, they would fish. When it was time to argue, they would not relax. At this time, Zhang Xiaobao came up with a plan. He found Wang Wan and began to discuss with her when to send people out and how to come back. They had to think about it carefully. They just had to wait a few times. Xiaobao, we just scared Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai. I don't know what they will think. Maybe they will think that we are going to rebel. What should we do now? When Wang Wan saw Zhang Xiaobao coming over, she began to tell Zhang Xiaobao what had just happened. After hearing this, Zhang Xiaobao also began to think about this matter. This matter was not serious. If it was not serious, it would easily cause the two old men to have a heart attack. This would not do. After thinking for a while, he said, "How about this? After we find the place, we will find a way to get the imperial court involved. This way they won't have to worry. First we will finish this arrangement. Then we will find the two of them and tell them. We can't let them get sick. We still hope that they will live for a few more years." Zhang Xiaobao knew that he and Wang Wan had no intention of rebelling. How tiring was it to be an emperor? There was no free time in the whole day. Rather than this, it was better to guard their own place and slowly live a good life. As for when it developed to a certain extent, the pressure from some individuals was nothing. They just had to fight together and treat it as a game. What was there to be afraid of? Only the incompetent would escape and run to other places to establish themselves as kings. The capable ones would follow the waves and eliminate the sand. Zhang Xiaobao did not think that he and Wang Wan were not capable enough, so he would not choose to run outside to establish a family. What was the point of that? If they wanted to change something, they would participate and change it. It was the most fun to be with everyone. Moreover, the two of them did not dislike this Tang dynasty era. If it was another dynasty, the two of them might think of a way. Naturally, they could not rebel now. If they had the time, they would think of ways to help the Tang dynasty advance further. Wang Wan also understood Zhang Xiaobao's thoughts. She had discussed with Zhang Xiaobao not to rebel and to bring more places into the Tang dynasty's map. At that time, the two of them could safely guard their money and live a stable life. Of course, if the Tang dynasty attacked a country, or if a country took the initiative to attack, the two of them would take the time to participate. Everyone would fight together. Considering these things, Wang Wan began to discuss the specific matters with Zhang Xiaobao. They had to make sure that nothing went wrong. "Xiaobao, when the time comes, let Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai go out to sea and see if their bodies can bear it. After all, it is not like when we came here. We can walk all the way along the shore. There is a waterway that takes many days to walk there. There is nothing around." After the discussion was almost done, Wang Wan asked Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao knew that if they did that, the two of them would be more relieved. After thinking for a while, he said, "It seems that this boat is not good now. When we build a bigger boat in the future, there will be no problem. Let's go and find Grandpa Bai and Grandpa Zhang to chat." After Zhang Xiaobao finished speaking, he pulled Wang Wan to find Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai. The two old men had almost thought it through, but Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not know. They still had to comfort them. Otherwise, it would be troublesome if the two of them had a psychological problem. At this time, it was already afternoon. After a while, it would be dark. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan arrived at the two old men's fishing spot, the two of them had already harvested a lot. They were talking and laughing there, looking very relaxed. "Grandpa Bai, Grandpa Zhang, you actually caught so much. This is great. We will have something good to eat tonight." Wang Wan jumped over and said to the two old men. Zhang Xiaobao also ran over and said, "It just so happens that Wang Wan and I don't have anything to do tonight, so the two of us will personally cook the fish. There must be some braised fish, some steamed fish, and some fish soup." When the two old men saw Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan coming over, they were very happy. Old Man Pai touched Zhang Xiaobao's head and said, "That's really good. Old Man Chong and I will have a good meal." It will be great if we can eat the food that you two make every day in the future. Old Man Chong also laughed. He grabbed a handful of melon seeds from the side and gave them to Wang Wan. He said, "Eat more. You have to grow strong." When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan saw that the two old men didn't mention that matter, they looked at each other. It was up to the two of them to mention it. Wang Wan said to the two old men, "We actually want to make good food for Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai every day, but that won't do. I still have to take care of the new weapon. If our people go there and they are directly attacked by the local people without saying anything, we have to have some means to defend ourselves. The main thing is that we have too few people. We only have so few people, and we still have to add young Master Li's people. The first time we go there, we will explore the road. When we find this road, if someone bullies us, we will ask the imperial court to send troops. Grandpa Bai, when that time comes, you have to help us talk to the imperial court. Otherwise, we won't be able to get troops. The people who have just been recruited are not of any use yet. Only the powerful people from the imperial court can be useful. Once we occupy that place, we will need the imperial court to send some people to that place to see if there are any good minerals there. What if there is gold or something like that? Those things can't be mined by us, right? We need the imperial court to send people to do it. But first, we have to say that the imperial court doesn't allow us to collect taxes on the business we do there. If they want to collect taxes, they can only pay us after we transport the goods over. Otherwise, we can't make money. As soon as Wang Wan finished speaking, Zhang Xiaobao also said, "That's right. We can't be in charge of that place by ourselves. Maybe there are some mountain people there. When the time comes, the imperial court should turn that place into the Tang Empire's land and send people to manage it. However, we have to think carefully about the person in charge. We can't let him stay there forever, and we can't let him bring his family. Generally speaking, it would be about 2 to 3 years. When the time comes, we have to change the person immediately. We have to be especially worried about the officials sent there. If he keeps saying that there is a war there and that's why he can't come back, then we have to get him back. This is to prevent him from raising bandits outside and slowly developing his own power. If he wants to rebel, we can't do anything about it. We have to do it well. We can also send people to check on him frequently. My family's caravan will also be in charge of collecting information. I estimate that he will go back and forth once every few months. If he doesn't come back even once, we have to prepare for war. Something must have happened there. Also, Grandpa Bai can think of a way to find some people who are very loyal to the country and send them to help with things. That way we can restrict each other." After Zhang Xiaobao finished speaking, he breathed a sigh of relief. He felt that if Grandpa Zhang and Grandpa Bai still couldn't understand the meaning behind his and Wang Wan's words, they would have lived for nothing. Sure enough, after Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan said what they wanted, Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai were shocked. The two of them looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan and didn't know what to say for a moment. Old Man Pai and Old Man Chong understood that they must have gone to look for Wang Wan today. Wang Wan told the Zhang family about it. The Zhang family was afraid that the two of them would be worried, so they asked the two of them to come over and say such things. What they said couldn't be clearer. That was, the Zhang family didn't want to occupy that place themselves in the future and needed the imperial court to send people. In this way, the Zhang family could still rebel. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had already told them the method to prevent a rebellion. Although they wouldn't have a good understanding of that place if they kept changing people. This way, in such a short time, if they changed the generals and soldiers, they wouldn't have much time to prepare for rebellion. Not to mention, their families were still there. If they used several methods together, they believed that the officials there would know what to do. In particular, the Zhang family's caravan would go there in the future. Just so happened that there would be more eyes and ears. If something happened to the other caravan, the Zhang family couldn't. As long as anything happened to the Zhang family's caravan, they could immediately prepare to send troops. In this way, that place could really become a place of the Tang Empire. This was really great. Not only were they happy, but the emperor was also happy. The two old men looked at each other, then looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, and nodded. Old Man Pai asked softly. Then if there are other caravans going there, won't your family's business be affected? When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan heard this, they knew that the two old men were relieved and were now thinking about their own families. The two of them had already thought about this matter, and Zhang Xiaobao was the one to answer. My family has also thought about what Grandfather Bai is thinking about, but we aren't worried. There are so many riches in this world. If we only think about making money, not only will we not make money in the end, we might even lose our lives. It's better to let others join in so that everyone can make money together. No matter how powerful my family is, it's impossible for us to control so many goods, unless we don't tell others where that place is. That's only possible in the early stage. When others find out that our family has a special way to make money, one of them will come to attack us, and the other will be to build ships to follow us. This is not the most worrying thing. If one day my family has more wealth than the entire Tang Empire, Grandfather Bai, what do you think the consequences will be? My family is not stupid. So, my family has decided that when this road is really opened, we will discuss with the imperial court and let them form a caravan to follow us. That way, the imperial court will have money. After saying this, Zhang Xiaobao picked up the teacup beside him and drank a few mouthfuls. It was too difficult to explain that he had no ambition. At this time, Old Man Chong and Old Man Pai understood everything. They realized that their previous fear was unnecessary. Look at the Zhang family. They thought so well. They did not infringe on the interests of others at all. They even thought of the imperial court when doing business. The Zhang family could say that they would not let their family's wealth surpass the entire Tang Empire, which meant that they knew how to protect themselves. However, Old Man Chong still wanted to tease Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, so he asked, "If your family really has a lot of money, and the imperial court uses a lot of money in the war, and your family happens to have more money than the Tang Empire, what will your family do?" At this time, Wang Wan interrupted and said, "Grandpa Zhang, don't worry. Our family's money will definitely not be returned by the imperial court. If the imperial court needs to fight, my family will directly take out a lot of money and then secretly send it to the imperial court through some channels. Yes, secretly. We will not let other people know. Even some officials with low positions will not know. That money will be the imperial court's, not our family's. We will always adjust like this. We will not let the imperial court be unable to do other things because of money. Grandpa Zhang, do you understand? In fact, we don't care who has more money than us. We just like the process of making money. This includes all kinds of calculations and new ideas. This is what we pursue. When money reaches a certain level, it's not just money anymore. It's just a number. With the way our family spends money, we can't spend that much money at all. Maybe we will use a lot of money in the name of the imperial court to build roads and bridges. In short, our family doesn't want a good reputation. A little reputation is enough. We don't want to be as rich as a country. That needs to be guaranteed by military force. Good, really good. If you can think like this, then your Zhang family and Wang family will no longer have to worry about anyone daring to touch you. Indeed, as you said, when money reaches a certain level, it will be impossible to spend it all. It will also make others jealous. Then take it out. My words are right here. If your family really does that, nothing will happen to you even if you go against a prince. After listening to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, Old Man Pai was really relieved. These two masters even thought about this matter. It was not easy. Since they had done so, he should write something to the emperor. He did not want to wait until something happened to the Zhang family and Wang family, who asked them to be so good at making money. There was no other way. Chapter 523. After reassuring the two old men, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan returned to their usual busy and fulfilling lives. The barbed wire fence that they had spent a lot of money on was put to good use. Countless sharks were attracted by the smell of blood and were then caught. Those that needed to be skinned were skinned, and those that needed to be eaten were eaten. Even the internal organs were not wasted. Li Sun also returned with his bodyguard. He even discussed a business deal with the people from the Yellow River Shipping Company on the mountain. The people from the Yellow River Shipping Company had a good idea in the beginning, but after meeting Li Sun, everything changed. They did not expect Li Sun to rent the good places to them, let alone buy them. He did not directly state how much the normal places cost. According to Li Sun, if no one came, he could not bear to let his business partner lose money. In the end, they didn't need to pay for those seats directly. If a customer really bought something from them or made some other purchases, Li Sun would ask for half of the net profit. Li Sun paid the price by introducing the places that they rented after the tour guide group was formed. Li Sun used all the business knowledge that he had learned from people like Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan, Luer, and Xin Er. He told the people from the Yellow River Shipping Company that as long as they could bring people from other places to Rainbow Falls in the future, they would get 10% of the net profit from each person. Even if the money spent by the people they brought to Rainbow Falls was counted, 10% of the net profit was not a small amount. Other than that, Li Sun also signed a contract with the 12 owners of the Yellow River Shipping Company. No matter what they were selling, all the prices had to be clearly stated. Tourists could buy if they saw the prices and were not allowed to bargain. Moreover, the prices had to be within a certain range. They could not be too low, but they could not be too high. The introduction of every product or entertainment activity had to be made known to the tourists. It had to be written in whatever way it was written. It had to meet the standards. Otherwise, if they scammed them once, they wouldn't come again next time. The detailed content was listed one by one, and it actually took up 10 pages. Almost every detail was considered. At the very least, the people from the Yellow River Shipping Company could not find any loopholes. The proud Li Sun really scared the people of the Yellow River Shipping Company. When did the people of the imperial family learn so many things? This was clearly something that merchants like them should do. Li Sun, who had negotiated the deal, was in a state of excitement. Even if there were no tourists yet, even if this place belonged to Lingnan, he was still full of confidence, waiting for a large number of rich people to come and spend money. The people from the 5 Lakes Merchant Guild who went to look for fish had yet to return. The fish raised by the commoners were slowly growing. They dug a big hole, filled it with water, and threw the fish in. Then they put in some duck dung and pig dung. That was it. No one fed them food. At most, they would put the leftover pig bones in a net and let the fish drink some oil. This was already a good life. Zhang Xiaobao did not take them seriously at all. It was not a bad idea to let them slowly spend their time here. According to Zhang Xiaobao, these people had to spend money in Luzhou, and it would delay their work. Otherwise, if they formed a caravan, they would be able to make a lot of money these days. What surprised Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan was that 33 ships came in the past few days. They were not big ships, just medium-sized ships. Such ships were not small, and they were taking a big risk. After learning that these people came from the east of Jiangnan, both of them expressed their understanding. The merchants from Fujian and Zhujiang were indeed amazing. In order to make money, they dared to use medium-sized ships to form a caravan. The goods carried by the 33 medium-sized ships were not enough to fill 4 big ships. The height, length, draft, and the width of the top deck of the ships were more than half of the big ships. The difference in size was not small at all. Normally speaking, the cargo of 15 medium-sized ships would be enough to fill up a large ship, but the other party could fill up 4 large ships with just 3 ships. Strong, really strong. This is what a real businessman is like. For the sake of profit, they are willing to abandon many things. Not to mention that the number of people rowing on each ship is reduced by half. They are actually eating fried noodles, and the amount of water they drink every day is controlled over and over again. They don't have an extra change of clothes, all for the sake of being able to carry more goods on board. The most important thing is that they are here to pick up all kinds of goods and not much of each kind. No wonder people in this kind of place can make a lot of money no matter what era it is. This is a spirit that can't be extinguished. Xiao Bao, do you want to cooperate with them? After understanding the situation of this caravan, Wang Wan sighed. We can't suppress such people. We don't have so much energy to waste on dealing with them. Sell them a few big ships or rent them. We don't have to pay them first. Let them save up for the next 6 months. Half a year later we'll tell them the route to Luzon. Zhang Xiaobao agreed. He held a coconut and drank it. This thing was not very sweet. If it was not cold, the taste was not much different from water. Thinking about it, if it was too sweet, it could not be injected into the human body as an injection. The people of Hainan Island did not drink this water at all. They cooked with the meat of the coconut. Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan and their family drank this thing to replenish some trace elements. Lizhou Prefecture also had some, but the output was a little lower. The two of them hadn't had the time to focus on producing those good things. Once the situation here stabilized, as long as there were rivers in the Great Tang, they would be able to produce all sorts of coconut products. Seeing Zhang Xiaobao drinking, Wang Wan also took a few sips. She said to Zhang Xiaobao, "Do you think that if carbon dioxide was added to this coconut juice, it would be good to make a drink? I haven't drunk it before. When I have the ability in the future, I can try it. Think, the taste should be different." Zhang Xiaobao tried hard to imagine what would happen if the coconut juice was mixed with carbon dioxide. Compared to soda water, would it be sweeter? It would also be more acidic. Forget it, let's not talk about this. In the future, if we are far away, we won't be able to drink coconut juice. We can't plant it in other places. I can't copy Yang Guifei and use the military station to deliver coconuts. Back to business, you are not cooperating with them just to make a fortune over there, right? Wang Wan sucked the last bit of water out of the coconut and stuffed the whole thing into Zhang Xiaobao's arms. Zhang Xiaobao smiled mysteriously. They won't only develop there. As long as we give them a chance, they will think of a way to find a better trade route. This way we can relax. There is strength in numbers. It would be best if they could go to Malugia. That you're tuning in to the Whispers of Romance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.